Hey, and we're on the air. Hi, everybody. This is Aaron Carson with Role Playing Public Radio, and welcome to the last Patreon game of the month. The game that we're playing today is Delta Green, and the title of this scenario is "All My Deeds Be Forgotten." And luckily, on this Memorial Day, we have two players with us. First off, start off with Joseph.
Hello, I'm Joseph, and I'm going to be playing Judson Harewood.
Okay, and what's your particular profession in?
Uh, I am a soldier
Okay,
serving in the army and have been brought into Delta Green.
okay,
Probably not
so
my best
and
decision.
So 28, are you on the enlisted track or are you actually an officer?
Enlisted track, but am being prepared for possibly taking officer candidacy tests.
Okay, so I was thinking about part of that. So yeah, and
Yeah.
how long do you feel like how long have you been in the military?
Uh, Probably been such out of college. I was like, I didn't take the ROTC route, and I was like, dang it, I really should have, but it's like I'll just enlist and head up and do my country proud.
Okay, so that at least the honorable route. But that being said, something went off in your training probably. So what was the event that brought you into the program?
The event there are things which I can't talk about, and there is a village out in undisclosed location that I cannot talk about. Let us just say a joint operation went south really bad that led to many people disappearing without a trace.
Okay, so and for what you feel right now, is this a disappearing as you had to take care of them, or they just ended up vanishing?
They ended up vanishing with all their kit and most of the building they were in, and there
Okay.
was no explosion.
Okay, so I like it. That's something that you were told not to talk about, but obviously you have the ability to keep your mouth shut in certain situations. So, knowing that part of the background, I'm going to say that you're going to begin the game with 1 point filled in your helplessness tract.
1 point in helplessness. Okay.
And if you don't have it already, which I don't see it on this, go ahead and add a 10% to your unnatural.
Okay.
Ooh.
So, since something disappearing into the void, right, is probably again a little bit screwed up on your turn. So, but all right, good to know on that for Judson and Will.
Uh, Hi, everybody. This is Will Roy. I am playing Smilin' Miles, modern day Frank Abagnale, FBI consultant,
All right,
former criminal.
okay,
Well,
all right. So, and what were the crimes that you were particularly set with, or what was your
uh,
forte?
Miles has been in and out of jail on fraud charges. He's out working with the FBI as a condition of his parole to commute his sentence. But the
Okay.
real reason he's out is because the program tapped him.
Okay, so and that being said, it's a little bit odd for somebody who's just committing a general fraud to be maybe looking into this. So, what was the incident that brought you into the program? Oh, Will, you still
I
there?
wish I had a good answer for that,
Okay.
but I really don't.
Okay. So, all right. Well, I'll give you there. Was this an encounter with somebody who you feel it's like who was asking for something that they shouldn't have been asking for? Maybe coming across an artifact you were trying to fence, but didn't have the. It's like, but managed to start giving you bad dreams, or you just caught in the wrong place at the wrong time between. That's like a firefight between agents and something that took a lot more bullets than anybody should be able to.
Well, to be tapped by the program, he would have had to be in some kind of a sticky situation and do a little more than just not go nuts. He would have had to help cover it up,
Okay. So
uh, which I guess is not entirely incongruent with the skill set of a grifter.
and
Maybe
I
he
do see.
tried to con, I don't know, tried to con the wrong person and happened to be there when Delta Green busted in.
Okay. So, would you and given your motivations, it says that you really don't like to let go of grudges.
Yes.
All right. So, maybe this was somebody else who just kind of owed you something and, Delta Green, it's like you felt that maybe it's like you can assist right now with Delta Green with finding some of the rare stuff that this asshole was probably using for less than good reasons.
Oh, that's an
So,
interesting idea.
all right. So, I would say in that case, and see if you're going to go with that, let's say you get a marker on your violence track. for that. And I will say that because of the weird stuff that you've been seeing, you can go ahead and put an extra 10% onto your occult. So you're a little bit more knowledgeable about the stuff that you are able to find.
Cool.
So, that being said, so you are both at it's like your partial home offices. We'll go ahead and start with Judson. Well, Judson, where is your home office at? Where's your
Uh,
base?
Currently, where is this taking place on the East Coast or?
It is, yeah, we will be taking on the East Coast when you're getting your call. So, but you can put yourself anywhere. So,
Uh, yes. I'm currently stationed at Fort Bragg,
Fort Bragg. Okay.
Mhm.
So,
Having recently come back from rotation.
all right. So you're off the side. Do you have any family, or are you just on your own?
I have family, but it's mostly my mom who's living up in Ohio right now.
Okay. So outside, so you pretty much are kind of set as you need to be right now.
Mhm.
And all right, so Miles. So, what? It's like, where are you at?
I would imagine Miles is based out of, let's say New York.
Okay, so are you just at probably a smaller office with the it's like small, it's like smaller personal office, or do you actually have a consulting office within the FBI headquarters?
He'd probably be attached to one of the field offices.
Hmm. So, all right. Well, you are both doing your general jobs. Miles, you're probably going through different. That's like different crime scene photos
Yeah,
to see
desk work.
about to see about maybe if there's particular forgeries that have been left within an art studio, and uh, you are on base, Judson, just going through your daily reports, getting settled into your new ones. When you both receive a phone call off of your nice untraceable phones, so that you're being that's like that you bought for track, and you were told only to answer if it rang 3 times, and lo and behold, it did. A simple
Damn.
sim Yeah, simple instructions tell you that you are to report to Norfolk, Virginia, to the Norfolk Community Hospital within 24 hours. You are to not again, you are it's like to make the appropriate arrangements for your it's like exits. If you that's like a you are expected to be there at 1600 hours. If you are not found, you will be escorted that's like found brought to an escort, where you will be decommissioned by its
Ooh.
said.
Doesn't
So
sound good.
no. In this case, it does note it. You see a note of decommissioning as basically a debriefing and relocation from current assignments. So,
In my case,
but
that probably means back to jail.
yeah, so you know that this might be there, but this is a lot stronger notification than you have ever received from either side. So in particular, Judson, you know that this usually what you have done before have been just simple investigations to see, or if they needed somebody to watch a particular area for a night or so, which is
Hmm.
all you've done in the past couple, probably 2 years or so. And in the case Miles, yeah, you know that what they might have some shit on you that is going to basically mean that you're spending the rest of your life in a nice federal cell.
Oh boy.
So it's telling you you need to get out of there right now. So that being said, we'll start with Miles. You know, who are you going to report to?
I would have an FBI agent who I work with, who essentially works as my handler. So I guess I would be going to him.
Okay.
And God, I hope he's cleared because I don't know any other way to make an excuse. Seeing as
Uh,
this is a condition of my parole.
so well, we'll take about that. So are we gonna even or odd?
Let's say odd.
Odd. Okay. Luckily enough, he is a friendly within the program. So
Oh, good.
that's like you are informed that you are never to show him your orders, but if you make the appropriate excuse with in order to be able to discuss a problem, then he will go ahead and let you off on there. So we'll say that his name is Agent Phillips. So
All right.
he gets the call from you. Yeah,
Now wander
Miles.
over to desk. Phillips, listen, I got to take a couple of days off. My aunt's a little green around the gills.
Looks at me. Are you fucking kidding me?
Wish I
I have
was.
I have those 2 directors at MoMA crawling up my ass about the fact that they might have a bad it's like a fake Van Gogh over there, and the other one might have been stolen at least that's like 3 years ago. Are you really going to abandon me at this point?
Hey, look, not my call.
So, what the hell do you mean? That's like mother's gills right now. You always claim that she is just completely dying every time that you want a 3-day fucking weekend.
Yeah, well, it's a chronic thing.
All right, so if he doesn't seem like he's gonna be getting it too, so go. I would say, in this case, let me take a look. Make another argument that's a little more persuasive to him
Oh,
because he's stressed. So
make an argument that's more persuasive than a sick relative.
yes, so or the thing is he's not getting the innuendo here. So what's
Oh, he didn't catch
he didn't
the
catch the innuendo because he's pretty stressed out on
yeah.
this point.
Yeah.
So
Look, Phillips, did I mention green?
Yeah, right. So, all right, since you're doing the cough on that side, I'm gonna say go ahead and make where is it? A persuasion roll off of that. I will go ahead and give you a +10 on that.
Get a little persuade. All right. Here we go. Oh, that's autocorrect. You're not helping. Got it.
All right, 5. Yep. Nope. He looks for a second like, "Oh, okay. So I assume this is an urgent call."
Yeah.
Okay.
Urgent enough that they're making noises about sending me back to lockup if I don't go right the fuck now. So, see ya.
Okay. I'm all right. Just do me a favor. If you can get to a Wi-Fi connection on this, can you at least maybe take a look at comes with the photos and see if the cross section patterns on these vases are looking kosher?
You know what? I jot down the email address of my pal Ash. I say, you know what? Send them to tell Ash to take a look at him. Tell him I said it's okay.
Okay. All right. No, I appreciate it. So so good luck on that. I hope to see you back here on Monday.
Yeah,
So,
me
all right.
too.
So you, luckily enough, your persuade means that you're free and clear. So there will not be anybody on the opposite side trying to chase you down
Oh,
as part of your parole deal. All right, and back to Judson. So,
Oh, cool.
and go with who are the bonds that you had in your on your side?
For the bonds that I have on my side, I have my CO, which is Captain Marcus Cartwright. My mother, Doris Harewood. One of my friends from combat, Sergeant Harris. He wasn't on that mission.
Okay,
Uh, he was in another squad. And then childhood friend of mine, who I was kind of sweet on, Katie Heritage.
Kid Heritage. Okay, so,
okay.
all right. So, and I'm guessing this would be like a Chief Hartwood. I'm guessing.
Uh,
So, is he a staff sergeant or
no, it's wait for which one?
Cartwright? Sorry, I said Hartwood.
Cartwright
Yeah.
is the captain. He's the CO of
He,
our unit.
he's a captain. All right. So yeah, you know that you're in order to do this, you're going to have to be able to explain this to the Captain Cartwright as well. And let's say even or odds.
Let's go with odds. Maybe he was the guy that gave me the mission and told me to hush up about it.
So unfortunately, he is not. He is a
Ah,
relative new. Basically, he's a new CEO for you, but he does have some trust with that. But he is not aware of the program, so you're going to have to come up with a good excuse.
Captain, I was wondering if I could put in a quick request for some leave. Everything's going well over in the motor pool in the armory. Sergeant Harris is taking good care of those things. But
Okay. What's the reason for the leave, Sergeant?
uh, spending some time with my mother. It's getting close to the anniversary of my father's passing, and she gets a little bit. It's a little bit tough for her some days.
So, no, I can see that. So, what did your father do again?
Uh, he was a police officer up in Chicago.
Okay, so that's on the beat PD for that.
Mm-hmm.
So, no, that's respectable. So, what he, if you don't mind me asking, what did him in?
Uh, just some he came across a deal going down, and practically a bunch of gangbangers just shot him down before he could call for backup in time.
Oh no, damn, that is a rough way to go, man. So I do not envy him that at all. So he is taking the excuse. Go ahead and make a charisma roll. So that'll be a base 60, I believe, on your character sheet,
Yay!
and see if he's willing to accept it. He's empathetic, but
Yeah. 96.
okay, so that's not a crit failure. You're lucky on that, but he's also realizing that yeah, sitting there going, you know what, I do understand this, but it's going to be a massive amount of paperwork to justify, especially since you're the recent transfer. Uh, I'm gonna do it, but you cannot go off base for the next 3 months if you. That's like once you are back, I can give you the
And
weekend alone, but that is it. Like, I
totally
cannot give you
understood, sir.
anything else. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. So, yeah, that was that was pretty bad. So go ahead and knock 2 points off of your bond with your captain.
Oh, that's wonderful.
It did damage it, but you were able to make your excuses. So, all right. But you take your that's like both your trips down to Norfolk. You manage to get Ubers or whatever you need to for the hospital. You check. Once you were told by your instructions to check in with the front desk and ask for a Dr. Freely
Mm-hmm.
once once you get there, and it's like once you've done that, like I said, you both walk into the like hospital. You're
Mm-hmm.
seeing that. I'll say go ahead and it won't actually matter in this situation since there are two of you, but once you do get that, you're put off. You're not actually taken into an office. You're actually taken into what appears to be a infectious disease ward,
Oh.
and are put off into a scrub site where it's like it's like you have two very humorless looking nurses that are telling it's like that are both telling you to strip down everything, put electronics off to the side, which or anything that it's like your identifying papers, documents, or whatever, weapons. That's like if you have those. Speaking of which, too, are you for that? Do you have a personal sidearm that you're carrying?
Yes.
Okay, so well, actually, yeah, Judson, I will say that that's actually gonna be a little more difficult for you since you can have the sidearm. I'm going to give you a choice here. You can go ahead and have a normal 9mm pistol, just a Glock,
Mm-hmm.
for nothing, if you wanted to. If you want something else larger than that to be able to take with you, that is going to take I will say either criminology or I will say a bureaucracy roll to see if you can get that out.
I'll just stick with the 9mm. I've trained enough with it. This isn't the service, like the one that's registered with the armory at the base.
Okay, so we
That
have
would
that.
be bad taking that with me.
Doesn't the army still
Again,
that's
you know what you've
100?
dealt with before, so
Yeah.
sometimes it might be a little bit nicer to have that.
Okay.
All
But
right,
yeah, I've trained with 9mm more than I have with 45 or 44 specials.
I like that. So, and Miles, do you have any firearms that you tried to get out with you?
No.
All right. So you know what the job entails sometimes. So that's always a question.
Guns
But
make
you're
you stupid. Duct tape makes you smart.
um don't know how to react to that statement. That's the nurse. If you the nurses just sit there and just give you a long stare while telling you to basically still strip down. So
Just imagine
Fine,
like
fine.
my character putting out his gun and everything, and then you just pull out a roll of duct tape.
Roll of
exactly.
duct tape, zip ties,
Yeah.
bar of
But yeah,
soap.
but yeah, as you do that, so they take everything out. You notice that the clothes that you have are going into an area marked burn. Have been
Hey,
named burn.
hey, hey, hey! That suit's expensive.
So then I'm assuming you might be able to buy another one. Step into the next chamber, please.
Those pants are velvet.
So they are just completely ignoring you.
God damn.
Uh,
Don't
so
know
but
what would be
yeah,
so bad that we have to burn our clothes already.
yeah, it's a little bit awkward in this case, but yeah, you step into the next chamber, and immediately you could both go ahead and take a Constitution check.
Oof.
as you are blasted with a very, very cold mist spray.
That's better. 12.
Mhm.
I've had military training. I'm
Yep.
just
So that
used to this.
yeah, right. It is shocking, but it's not unsurvivable. So let's see.
Pass.
All right, you passed two. Okay.
Yep.
All right, then no hit point damage on that. It was just it's like really uncomfortable, but you managed to get out of there just fine. In the next room, you have another clean area. You find that medical scrubs are being provided for you,
Okay.
and just as a temporary, the other one of the other nurses that is there, and you see that there is a between you. It looks like there's an observation glass or pane that is going into what looks like an operating suite, and you see that there are several other doctors and nurses that seem to be surrounding one body on the table. They're obscuring most of the view, but with that, it looks like that they are actually encasing him in what looks like a modified version of a hazmat suit
The
that
hell?
is got seeing, and that they're trying to, and they seem to be connecting tubes into it, which are being assisted by assisted by an anesthesiologist off to the side. Once you enter the room and you fully clothed, the it's you see somebody at the front. It's like in front of the window, knocking on the window and pointing down to an intercom button.
Okay. I see if I can find the transmit button.
So
Click it.
it's pretty easy to find. So
Yeah.
you press that too.
Click. Hello.
That's like you do. Are you our two drivers?
Yes.
Are we?
Good. So
I'm guessing we are, or else why are we here?
there's we have to keep things extremely quiet for right now because this is an exceedingly unique situation. I'm gonna go to decant. It's like calm for a second. I need you to meet. It's like meet me in our meeting room next door. We will give you the specifics of what's to happen on this mission. Do you understand?
Just a curt nod. And
Okay.
Sure.
All right, so it's a little bit hard to see the guy's face, but since it's obscured by his own hazmat suit. But he moves off. You see one of the nurses opening the door, and off to the side, which you see, it looks like it's not even actually a meeting room itself. It looks like the scrub room of the surgical suite that you're looking into. But as you're sitting there going off, both of you can go ahead and give me a alertness check.
do not pass.
See if I can do any better. Also not a pass.
Okay, so you kind of see both of you as you're passing. Let me take a look. Will, did you got 67, and Joseph, what did you get?
I got a 60 out of 50.
60. Okay, so both of you kind of trying to look around to see what's going on because you can actually see that the gloved hands are trying to put a helmet or what looks like a really large version of a helmet and cowl over the patient's neck on the that's like on the table, but you can't really get a good vision of it. The only thing that you look at it's odd is that helmet looks way oversized. Or let's say as a good one. Let's see, Joseph. So well, excuse me. Let's get your reaction, Judson. I'll say that one of your cousins, maybe your sister. Does your sister have kids?
Uh, sure.
Okay,
Go with that.
so go with that. Yeah, one of your nieces or nephews is into superheroes and got really big into Superman. And you remember him showing some picture of some guy named Doomsday,
I
and
was about to make that a joke. I was actually about to make that a joke.
you noticed that, and that's like a really that's like the helmet you would assume that would have been drawn on some comic character.
Yeah.
So
Funny, I was actually thinking that the entire time.
on the same wavelength. So, but yep, the nurses lead you in there. You actually, and as you get into you see that there are two sized, what look like paramedics outfits that are sitting in there for you as the doctor that you were talking to comes out of the decontamination room. He pulls off the helmet. You're seeing a guy who probably looks in his late 50s, early 60s. Pretty big salt and pepper hair on there, a lot of lines on his face, just scrubbing out. um, Janet, just to let you know that the mass has increased in size from the last inspection by at least 3 centimeters. So we are going to have to potentially up our timetable on transport, as well as potentially increasing the amount of anesthetic that we're getting to, or and antibiotics to potentially slow the process of the growth. So,
Doesn't sound good.
gentlemen, you want to take a seat? It's like take a seat.
Sure.
I sit down.
Uh, my name is Dr. Freely. I am in charge of the preparation station for the that's like for this initial transport. I know that you've not been given much information, but it is because of the sensitivity of this particular mission that we are trying to keep as much radio silence as possible. I'm going to have to let you know ahead of time that I apologize for pulling you from your other duties in turn. We would not have done, but you were the closest available and the best that we had on on such short notice. So, I assume right now you've seen that's like you saw that that's like had a man in there.
Uh,
Yeah.
yes.
The circumstances of this I cannot give full it's like a full disclosure with, due to, again, the radio silence that we're trying to keep in order to remain secure on this operation. Needless to say, in that's like two things that you need to be aware of. One, this man is carrying a potential contagion, something that is highly, highly infectious as far as we have known. So this is the reason why we are putting him into into his um, hazmat suit as well. That's like in order to be able to contain whatever pathogen has been going through. We cannot allow this to potentially get to the public. If it does, it has a it has the potential of going airborne. We cannot have this risk done. Secondly, the man himself, as we have discovered, is that's like an original operative. So, and when you hear that, let's see, looking into that, do either of you have history?
I have just space history.
Okay,
Same.
you do. So, all right. Um, I will actually say that, yeah, if you have history, you can make that roll, or I will say that if you do have a law in this case, I'm going to go ahead and do this. You can do that at a -20.
Ooh, my law at -20 is better than my history.
Mhm.
I don't even have any law.
Hey,
Nope, 89 is not going to get me that.
Okay.
no luck on the law.
Okay. So nothing else that you. So what they're describing there is that it's a little bit of confusion. So that was just more good information. But I will say, how much did you fail by, Will?
At neg
58.
20,
Okay. So
no,
all right.
28.
All right. So yeah, you don't get as much information about that. He just sees blank stares, but he kind of shakes his head. Okay. Needless to say, you both were aware that the company did not start to fully operate again within the jurisdiction of the government only since about maybe 4 or 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So before that, there were other operatives who were continuing the missions outside of this. And this has been a problem because those people are still out there. Some of those people have been trained. They have also trained others to continue the work after the company reasserted itself. And we have a feeling that they may be still looking for this as well. The biggest issue is that's like right now is that we feel that this particular gentleman might have friends who will try to find him in
So, presume hostilities from these?
extreme. That is an that's like they should be anybody who is approaching you at any given point should be potentially treated as a hostile. We
Are
Understood.
they
cannot stress this enough.
are this other company outfit, are they about as organized and equipped as we are?
So we unfortunately don't know.
Okay.
So the only thing that we can give information for on this is that that's like have knowledge that is akin to ours, and they also potentially have equipment and training akin to ours as well.
Oh, so that we have nothing to worry about then.
So
Just look over to the grifter next to me. It's just this.
So, you know what? Just go ahead. I'm going to say go ahead and make a charisma roll.
What's that?
Go ahead and make a charisma roll.
Just look over to this guy like, really?
Yeah, make a charisma
Hey,
roll on
Snip.
that. What did you make it?
9.
9. the doctor says, uh, that that is kind of funny in this case, but in all seriousness, we have honestly no idea what they're going to do. So here is what the expectation is. We have a facility that's like prepared up in Albany. In order to receive him, receive the subject. We cannot exterminate him. Or try to do the autopsy for what it is, because ultimately he carries knowledge about program information that ACEL is wanting. They are
Who's wanting?
so. I would say basic
Yeah.
structures. So
Okay.
yeah, yeah,
The top men.
Top
yeah.
men.
Yeah, you basic structures right now too. That would have been communicated to you, but you don't obviously know there. So they are to be it's like so you are to the mission at this point is you will be given a prepared ambulance. You will be driving it's like driving the subject up to Albany. By turn is an 8 hour normally is an 8 hour trip straight through, but we cannot know or anticipate where they might strike. You will have designated checkoff points. It's like given every 200 to 300, every 50 to 60 miles. So going along, it's like on this line, we have at least 5 of them that we want you to be able to go off
Mhm.
of. But you will have a unit there that will check in with you, confirm that the anesthetic that is being used to keep the subject into his artificial coma will be contained, and then we'll make any potential repairs to the hazmat suit and the containment as needed going through. Um, if you are detained and you cannot get out, the truck itself is equipped with a napalm device
Oh, good.
that is to incinerate the it's like the ship incinerate the ambulance itself if absolutely necessary. We have
Uh-huh.
no that's like this is the only thing that we've determined that can actually destroy the contagion that this subject has.
So why aren't we just destroying it then?
Again, the from the information that we have been given to by higher ups, this person's knowledge is too extreme. They have too much information about that's like that is wanted at this point, and they want to put him in a stable, a stable, secure position, so they may be able to interrogate him without the contagion getting out.
Okay.
So, but that
Nothing
is
like
the information.
driving with a bomb
I
under your
I
ass.
give an incredulous look.
So at this point, right now, this is the information that we can give you at this moment. We have all. It's like we have everything that going forward. Are there any other questions that you have?
Are there any challenge phrases for the people that we should be checking in with, just in case somehow this extra party is able to take out the checkpoint and disguise themselves as agents?
Yes. So, and he does give a list on those. I will actually let you go ahead and make those up as you want. So,
Yes.
you will say that has. Yeah, so you have. Yeah. You were given a full list of challenge phrases. Actually, the odd thing that you found out is that they are changing for each. You have specific ones set for each. That's like each set of the leg of the drive. So
Good.
Seems
Good
that
trade
makes
craft.
more sense in this case.
yes, you were given those two. He also lets you know that again, due to radio silence, you will have no access to the communication beforehand. You were given locations. You were given that's that's like you were given the identification numbers of people that you were supposed to see.
Hmm.
But during these times, but otherwise, you were given nothing else.
Okay,
So
and depending on, uh, will we have any extra tools in which order to defend ourselves? Because
the
I, my pistol is trustworthy, but it's only bang bang, not bang 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 bang.
As of as of right now, we are currently going on a lower standard for being able to. or a lower profile. So right now we're hoping the sidearm should be enough as well. We cannot have anything akin to a protracted firefight. If
Understood.
that will cause attention, that could bring in other people that are not that are not trustworthy or or the public that can interfere, and that risks the contagion getting out.
Understood.
So, I will leave you to get dressed right now. Looks like we're almost in the prep. Looking back through it's like the door that you just came through, and the nurse nodding. It looks like we are almost ready to move the patient. To like move the subject out into your transport. I suggest that you get dressed and ready to take your parts. Good luck, gentlemen.
Understood.
Oh, hey.
Yes,
I
sir.
point outside and say, are they actually going to burn our clothing?
So that clothing has already been burned. We can't take any chances that something was brought in that could
God,
aggravate the situation.
you guys don't pay me. The FBI gives me a stipend just enough to live on. That suit was expensive, okay?
At this point he's already walking out the door.
God
Just
damn it.
find one thing that you don't have to worry about too much money. Just say that all the time.
Yep. So, all right. But as you're going through, the nurse comes back in. You are given a route specifically, going along a line from Norfolk over to what appears, yeah, Norfolk over to Albany. So,
Uh-huh.
looks like it's scheduled for an 8 to 9 hour trip at most. Going through the first part of that will be going over a let's see. Oh, there's a bridge I found. Google
Hey.
Maps the thing.
Uh-oh.
So,
Oh, boy.
That's
which
a
went through. So I'll go
Hawksworth
ahead and post this in
Bridge.
here, but this is basically the route that you will be taking, going up towards this is Albany. And right now, yeah, and seems to be all pretty clear about it. So you go out to what appears to be the ambulance loading area.
Oh yeah.
It is quite empty. So for the most part, it's a little bit of quiet. And at this point, you can kind of it's like if you want to try to make any investigations, you can actually take a look at the ambulance that you're going into. So that
Yeah.
have there. So if you want to make any investigative rolls, you can.
Yeah, I'll do a whole inspection just like if I was getting ready to go out on patrol in country.
Okay. I will say that alert. Yeah, there are two things you can do. You can either roll alertness, or
Mhm.
if you have military science
I'll
on
go with
there, you can
military
make a roll.
science.
Okay.
That's higher. Oh, shoot. 26 or 22, excuse me.
22. Okay. And Miles, are you making any rolls?
Nope.
Okay. So all right. So, yeah, military science. First two things that you notice they're a little bit more often here. That behind when you start putting your hand against the sides of the ambulance,
Mm-hmm.
and you feel it go a little bit off of there. You actually see that it is it's you actually feel it's a lot heavier too, and realize that this isn't just the aluminum, like the sheet metal or plastic siding that you would have on any kind of car. This is armor plating.
Oh yeah.
So
It's not
this,
an MRAP, but it's close enough.
yeah, it's going to be enough to stop at least a general round. Might not do anything with armor piercing, but yeah, you're gonna be able to see about that.
Surely we
Uh,
won't be shot at with AK-47s.
You would think that would be the case,
Surely.
or hopefully that's not going to be the problem. Next part of this too, you also do see something else that when you're looking underneath, yeah, you actually see where the napalm is. It's basically four canisters that are spread out to the side of the vehicle
Oh,
and
wonderful.
once you hit it, it is set to incinerate everything. And
Lovely.
and let's see for that one, I'm not going to say that you get that free. You realize that you realize that you saw something else in there that you didn't see before. Right underneath, basically, when you get into the cab of it,
Mhm.
where the bed is going to go while you're transporting, it's not just the flamethrower, the napalm that they have underneath right now. They actually have a brick of Simtax
Oh!
underneath it.
Oh,
Don't
okay.
want to be near this thing, but have to for the sake of the mission.
The only
Mhm.
way to be sure.
The only way to be sure, high explosives and fire. Yes,
Mhm.
truly Delta Green. or
So,
any Call of Cthulhu scenario.
which is, yeah, it is completely and utterly there. And I completely forgot. Oh, good. Some of you have drive. That's a good thing.
Yay!
Please tell me you have higher than 20 or 40. I don't want to make a drive check and careen us off the road.
I have it at base.
Oh, wonderful! I'm the
You're
best
driving.
driver. I drove in country. Surely this won't go well. It's bad. I mean,
All right.
Fine, it'll be fine.
All right. But yeah, you're just kind of sitting there for probably about 30 minutes until you notice that it gets very quiet, a lot quieter than the air, and you notice that a lot of the ambulances that you still see are being directed to the opposite side of the hospital, and you
oh,
see the
goody.
entire contingent of doctors and nurses that you saw before, probably about 4 or 5, wheeling out the patient.
Mhm.
So, who is underneath? It's like it looks like they have sort of a canopy that's around him too, something what you'd look like to mosquito netting, but
Hopefully, it's not lead lined.
it is not. So, but you do see through the it's like the sheets once it's going through that once they're loading him up that yes, he is completely encased with completely encased in his hazmat suit. It looks like he is tied to the gurney itself. There is a device that is monitoring the level of anesthetic that is keeping him under control
Ooh.
at the moment. And you, as they push him through, the doctor comes back to you and states, "All right, this it's like gives you two handles. This is a monitor that you can carry anywhere with you at this point. If it's like that will not only go over his vital stats, but also the it's like amount of anesthetic that he's going through. If you believe he is waking up at any given point, you are to press this button once and only once. If it doesn't go through, that's like, and you feel that he is regaining consciousness at all, you were to record. That's like record this, which he notes a GoPro cam that is linked to the same. That's like the same tablet that you've just been given,
Oh,
and you were that's like to make sure. That's like to record this right now to make sure that this was not the this is your actions will be the only unavoidable one. You were to pull off to the side, and and Judson he hands you another control with a key. Uh, this is the this is the detonator for the device underneath him. He is to be a That's like you were to get out of the car, you were to take it out, and you if able and then set it off. If you are not, there is another key inside of there that is going that's like can do the same thing. So, but that is only for driving, and if you cannot get out of that's like out of the vehicle in time to ensure its detonation. Do you
under-
understand?
understood. Hopefully, we won't have to use either option.
So otherwise, that's like we know, but we will be watching. So it's like we are to expect that that's like this is carried. That's like this is carried out.
Understood.
Okay. Good luck. Your first contact will be with. That's like your first contact will be. That's like waiting for you at a green box, specifically right outside of Delaware. So, all right. They leave you to it. So walking out, yep, it's and let's see at this point who gets. We'll take a small break. So I can go to the bathroom, and you can decide who gets to drive and who gets to sit in the back with the patient.
I guess I'm in the back.
I mean, sitting anywhere in this vehicle is not healthy. It is not
Yeah.
conducive for our health.
I have a feeling that our chances of survival are not going to be affected too much by how much drive the driver has.
As long as we don't, we don't have a car chase. All the car chases I've had in RPs have ended poorly.
Yeah.
And granted, the most was whiplash, but I don't want a whiplash with napalm and Semtex in my car.
Yeah, you'll feel that in the morning.
If there is a morning.
Well, if we want to risk my base 20% drive,
Yeah, now I think probably start off with. I mean, there's not going to be.
if we're in a
Well,
situation where
it's an 8 hour drive, so I mean, I should be good for the most part of it.
yeah,
Just
I guess we
you
can
know,
rotate.
yeah,
But I'm saying if we're in a situation where the drive skill is a factor in our survival, I think we're pretty fucked anyway.
yeah. I was thinking throughout the entire time. I was looking over possible characters. I'm like, I really need a high drive, but this also sounds like we're going to be engaged by forces.
Yes,
So like,
maybe.
best possible option. Is this mini maxing? Maybe.
I heard min-maxing when I just got back in.
Shit, he heard. Scatter.
Oh no!
Everybody run.
We were just
Alright.
musing that our chances of survival are probably irrespective of how much drive the driver has.
That's a potential, so we'll definitely find out. So, all right, but yes, they given instructions right now is that they definitely want somebody in the back to be able to continue observation on the patient as needed. So, while driving through, it's like driving through. So, I will say, yep, go. This will just be for the first general leg of the roll. So, we will give 2 ones. And also, you're feeling a little bit off too because you arrived. It was in the afternoon, afternoon
Mhm.
to evening when you arrived, and they're telling you to just go straight through now. So that means you didn't get a full rest on there. So I will say, first off, Judson, go ahead and make your drive check.
Okay, I mean this shouldn't be too
And this
bad.
is and this is not to this is more or less to be less conspicuous on your
Okay,
drive. So driving casually.
driving casually. Let's go. Keep on dropping one dice now. Hold on a second.
Casual.
Drive casual. Do not drive suspicion towards
Don't
us.
go over the speed
Hey,
limit.
I actually got a 1.
Oh,
Nice.
wow! That is a
I am
Critical
not.
success.
Yeah,
That is a critical success. Excellent. So yeah, you basically you're taking it carefully. You know to go through. You're letting people merge in. You're just kind of you're like somebody on your duty. So, and for all intents and purposes, it really looks like you may be just in an ambulance that's doing a drive of like an organ donor or somebody else. So one of the simple kind of calm drives for an ambulance.
Simple is not how I would describe today.
That is true. But you are keeping it on too. So, but
Yeah.
since you did that, yeah, you will be able to make another check here in a second. So, uh, and Miles, since you're sitting in the back too, first thing I need you to do is make another Constitution check because you were kind of crammed up in the back of a.
Oh boy.
Well, actually, I'm gonna have you make 2 checks first off because Judson's a little bit there. I actually want you to make a sand check because you're in the back of an ambulance with
It's all how
a
it starts.
exactly.
Yep.
With this with this old with this body essentially that's gone talk right now that you're with has a potential contagion and you're sitting underneath not just napalm but Simtax as well. So go ahead and
That's a
make a sand
failed
check.
stand roll.
All right.
Please tell
So
me it's not a botched sand rule.
No,
nope,
no, just a
no,
regular fail.
no
Okay.
botch. So let's see. Yeah, you've had better days. So go ahead and take 4. So
Ooh.
it's really because you got roped into something you didn't want to. So it's not going to be one that causes immediate panic. But go ahead and mark off another thing for helplessness because you don't have a choice.
No, no, I really don't.
You just don't.
I really, really
Hey,
don't.
you've now joined the helpless club.
Yep,
Yes, I have.
it's just off on that. But
Ooh.
I'm going to say that yeah, you can go. But in this case, since you're both in the different areas and you've taken some hits on there, but both of you can go ahead and make awareness checks. This is about halfway into your first leg. Before
Awareness.
Passed.
passed? Okay.
Uh, no pass.
No
I'm
pass?
guessing you
Okay.
meant alertness, not awareness.
That yeah, alertness. Yes, my
Okay.
apologies. So
Alertness, awareness.
yeah,
Tomato, tomato.
it's very much the same thing. Okay, so
I'm just
yep,
focused on driving casual.
yeah, Judson, you're seeing everything as needed, so you're just kind of looking around. You're not really that concerned that much. Let's see, and Miles, after you managed to calm yourself down, so you may have taken a hit or two off of the oxygen mask that's in there, just the tank in there to kind of prevent the hyperventilating. You do calm yourself down enough a little bit to go through and are noticing that there's actually another part of the screen that you saw off of the rig, essentially the anesthetic rig that is um that is attached to the patient. And when you look into it's not just monitoring other vital stats and what they're putting into it. It has another interesting little thing on there that says fungal growth. And
That's not good.
Oh
as there
God.
and you see that it seems that there's a counter on it too that is ticked maybe a couple areas a couple of integers higher than it has before.
Oh boy.
Oh, joyous joy.
So and you look down and he's not moving at all. So he's still in that, but this
I'm,
is a little bit more disturbing than what you would think.
I'm driving in blissful ignorance of
Yeah.
this.
And
I'm not going to say anything to my driver, pal. I'm just going to keep this to myself.
Yep. So as part of that, yeah, you immediately once you look down, because you can actually get a better view of that. You do see that the whole hood that they were putting over him that was much larger before. There's a reason for that. If you look when you see the way he's laying down, it's like somebody is propping him up, maybe about 6 or 7 inches higher than his back should be, and you realize that there is some lumpy growth that is protruding in several masses out that is being obscured by the hood of his hazmat suit.
That's a nope if I ever heard it.
that
It
that
is.
is a big nope.
And the only reason you're not taking the sand check now is because it technically is covered up and sealed. And that is
All right.
something else that you've seen before too, which is a little bit odd. That you look at the edges of that, it looks like that hood has basically been fused with a heat gun to the lower half of his hazmat suit. So it is physically preventing anybody from taking it off unless they just rip through it.
Oh, joyous joy.
Okay.
So, but yeah, you're seeing some shit. Let's
Yeah.
put it
No
that.
kidding.
All right.
No kidding.
But that being said, you do make it to the first of your check-ins. The part of this, it is not a. It is actually what looks like to be a disused RV park. So that has been looks like it's been abandoned for the better part of maybe 4 or 5 years. There doesn't
Mhm.
seem to be anybody living in here. Probably it's like you're probably having other people right now who maybe unfortunately bought their homes but didn't buy the land on it
Oh.
or with it, so it immediately just used. But you pull in and to one of the trailers, you're given an address for one of these. It looks a little bit newer as a prefab home goes. But once you park, you are Judson, or you were given instructions to flash your high beams in a certain pattern.
Yep. Hello.
Yep. And you're once you do that, you see that there is a group of 4 people that come out of the home. It's like 3 men and a woman.
Okay. Does that
All that
match up?
Yep. All that that is. It looks like those are the information that you've been given
Okay.
for this, and the people that and when they kind of motion for you to come on out. So, and put it's like and start giving the greetings to. Said, all right. So, and what is the greeting phrase that you were giving?
We'll just start with a good old one. Flash. I'm
So, oh,
hoping for thunder.
all right. So in this case, what is the actual saying? What's the response that
Oh,
you were?
the full saying. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Now I have to come up with something real fast. I'm a writer. I can do this.
Hey, any restaurants around here? I'm looking
Yeah,
to. I'm supposed to have lunch with a relative of mine.
There's only so the woman in the group looks at you and says, we'd like to help you out, but there's only a couple greasy spoons, and they're really bad for your heart." So,
Greasy, huh?
yep. But both of you hear that, and you see that that is the correct response.
Okay.
So, it's like everybody nods right now. The 3 gentlemen put a perimeter around that. Once you do, you actually see that they are carrying much heavier weapons than you are. So,
That doesn't
I
say
would
much because we're
wish.
carrying nothing.
I'm
yeah,
carrying a I'm carrying a service pistol.
yeah, you have the
Okay,
nine
I'm
mil.
carrying nothing.
Yeah, you have the 9 millimeter on there. So, you have the. Yeah, you both have. Yeah, you have the 9 millimeter, but these guys are carrying. The 3 guys that are surrounding right now are carrying MP4s. So, And the woman gets a that's like stethoscope around. And comes up to you, Miles. What's the status of the patient?
He's asleep.
So, has there been any movement or any that's like note of cognitive function since you left the hospital?
Nope.
Okay, so I'm going to check on his status, confirm that confirm that the anesthetic is still working, and then you were to move forward. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay, so all right, she's getting in there, so you
I'm
can
going to
kind of
stretch out a little bit.
yeah, you can assist her with that if you want to. Uh,
Okay, I'm not a doctor. I'm gonna ask some of the other guys if any of them has a cup of coffee.
okay,
Yeah,
they are
coffee, please.
extremely stone faced, so that
I
they're
don't care. I'm just gonna keep going.
yeah. So, but
How you
yeah,
guys
they
doing today?
but they are looking at that immediately. So, oh, excuse me. But while you're doing that, yeah, you can just kind of sit around and take. That's like just gonna take a little bit of look around while you're doing that. Both of you, let's see. You can go ahead and make awareness checks or alertness checks, or if you have that, you can also make military science or SIGINT checks.
Military science. Thank you.
Nope. Failed the
That is
arts.
a pass.
That's just for military science. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Looking around, or if you're trying to see anything else, because and did you fail your alertness check, Will?
Yeah.
Okay.
No dice for alertness.
No dice for alertness. So yeah, you're just kind of
I'm,
off
I'm
on the
trying. I'm
side.
trying to make friends with these stone faced gentlemen with the guns.
Okay. Yeah, you're
They're
just trying to
people,
sit
so
there, being as like open as absolutely necessary. So,
friendly with
but
their
yeah,
tank.
just yeah. What's the joke? What is the joke that you're trying to get this guy to go with for?
Oh,
Oh, you made me think of a joke. I can't think of a joke off the top of my head.
So, because you are a con person, so you're supposed to be you're supposed to be able to kind of wheel and deal with any of these people. Maybe 'cause you got that stone faced doctor to laugh. You should be able to do this guy.
Damn, I can't think of anything.
All right, so yeah, we look right now. You know what? I just can't think of anything when I see your face. Just it's a total blank, like what we're doing today. So yeah,
Hey,
and of course it falls like a
falls
sack
flat.
of
Yeah,
lepers. It's just
yeah,
it's not funny. So,
yeah. No.
but okay, so Justin, yeah, you see
I
Miles
offer him a
trying.
smoke from the pack of cigarettes. I sleight of handed my way past the guards.
All right, so, uh, do you have sleight of hand?
I have stealth. That's sleight of hand.
Uh, I- you know what? Go ahead and roll that. I'm going to say that you can
it's
roll
going
that
to go
beforehand to see if you can.
wonderfully.
Yes,
All right, you had a cigarette. They're not going to really complain about that. So good job. But
I'll
in any
take
case,
my victories where I can get them.
yeah. But yeah, you have alertness checks because you see that they are. Yeah, they're going out everywhere else, and they have a bunch of it, but they have just eyes everywhere. Um, except for the guy who is at the hand side of the vehicle. So, you notice that for some, that's like when he's going through, the other two guys are just stone still. They have eyes out. They're looking at everywhere. They're prepared. The other guy seems a little bit more nervous that you didn't notice before. That he seems to be tapping his foot, but that tap really does not seem to be, random or nervousness. It kind of has a rhythm to it, and uh, you kind of as you're looking through familiar science, you realize that taps Morse code.
That's not good.
So
Oh,
What is the message?
so, uh, uh, if you can't really you don't have time to do a guess right now, but once you see that, you realize that if he's doing it that loudly,
Mm-hmm.
and because you once you concentrate on it, you can actually hear that's like the taps because he's where you parked. It's essentially underneath where a disused porch or driveway was, so you're hitting concrete where it's
Right.
reverberating. So but you could put two and two together and realize that he's probably signaling somebody.
That's not good.
So so that's like so something's coming in a second. What is yeah, Miles has no idea. What is your action?
I'm going to pull up the back folds of my Because I'm guessing we're in paramedic uniforms, right? So we have like the jackets and everything.
Yes, you do.
So I'm going to make sure that I have my pistol ready. Still, and I'm going to move myself as to a defensible position, something that I put something between me and that guy that's tapping.
Okay.
And I just sort of, hey friend, you got a light for a smoke?
All right. So he's looking over. It's like he looks a bit startled from you. Then tries to ignore. It ignores you and goes back. No. So that's like keep to your job.
I try and give a sort of look over at our grifter, like back off.
All right. So you tried to communicate with him to give him
Yeah,
that.
as carefully as possible because I'm not sure if these people. So I'm like motioning to maybe as discreetly as possible get back to the car.
Okay. So all right. Let's see. I'm gonna say that's. I'm gonna go with persuasion too, or alertness. All right, I'm gonna say that you can go ahead and say that, but this is going to be up to Miles's that's like alertness. So
Okay.
Miles, you're just kind of sitting in the backboard. You've seen it's like you've seen Judson move around the end of that. So go ahead and make your alertness check.
All right. Critical.
All
Success
right.
or fail.
Yep.
Check him.
Okay. So yeah, here's what you end up seeing. So, um, you're looking at the woman gets out of the back of out of the van or the truck, and she immediately says, "Thinks everything else, is currently stable." She hands you a contact list with the next. If that's like the next set of contacts that you're supposed to make, going further up to which will be further a little about right on the outside on the skirts of Philadelphia.
Yay, Philadelphia.
Yep. So that's going to be around generally where we're setting next.
Does
But
that check
as
with the itinerary we were given to begin with?
that does. So they're
Okay.
basically keeping an update right now for everybody else. So this is actually concurrent with that. But as you're handing that, you actually see that it's like you see Judson kind of waving you down, looking over at the other soldier who seems to be tapping his foot a lot faster, and and as that moment, when you're looking forward, you look to one of the rundown trailers that's across from you and manage to see the glint of two guns poking out of the windows. So, and that the other agents have not seen yet. So you have so that are about to go. So you have the opportunity to drop right now. What are you doing?
Hit the deck.
So I see
Are
him
you
go down.
are you trying to pull down the other agent with you, or you're,
Actually, no. I'm gonna see. I'm gonna try and pull the other agent into the back of the because the ambulance is armored, right?
it is armored? Yes.
Yeah. So I'm gonna try and pull the both of us into the back.
All right, so this is before the firefight starts. So I'm gonna say that one. Uh, I'm gonna say that that's just going to be a dex check for you because
Dex, you say?
just because the quickness of what you're trying to do. She's not expecting it, so I'm not. She's not going to
What?
resist. So
Luckily, unfortunately, I am not that quick.
all right, what was it?
76. I only need a 70.
All right. So in that case,
Yeah.
yeah. Unfortunately, Judson, you don't see that as of it's like until it's too late.
Oh
But
no.
so yeah, the firefight erupts. Let's let's see what ends up happening here, shall we?
Oh boy.
So you get yourself into the you do get yourself into the ambulance as well, it's like all of that erupts from it. The woman was not looking from there, so let's see. Yeah, she's definitely hit. So
Oh boy.
and goes down into a very bloody pile. The other two guards are looking around from the other side about that time, and they were just aiming for her. But that means that the other guy is in front of you, and you're going to be reacting at the same time. So we're not going to worry about initiative order just yet. So uh, I'm going to say, let's see. And you said Jetson, you said you had your sidearm with you.
Yeah, I had my sidearm practically like behind my back as I was moving back, getting close to the vehicle to use it as cover.
Okay. So all right, then go ahead. Let's see. So this is going to be just a reaction test because he's right in front of you. So go ahead and roll.
Contact front. That would be a 5.
5. Okay.
Yeah, out of 60.
Out of 5 out of 60. All right.
Ooh.
Let me take a look and see. 1 second.
Where's the rest of my dice?
Oh, come on. Where are you, dice? All right.
Nope, that will probably be the best roll I have with shooting all night.
All right. And he failed his. So you get the shot off on him first. So let's see. Small arms. Light pistol. Go ahead and roll 1d8 damage. Plus, actually, and I will give you a. You are in range, so go ahead and add a plus 10 to that for point blank.
So plus 10 to the damage?
Yes, you are point blank.
Awesome. That is going to be 12.
12? All right. Nope. You get him dead to rights in his head. He's out. So.
Can the cartlet shit?
All right. So that brings. Yeah. So you do have the next 2 on there. So yeah, the other guys are firing. So this will be initiative. So let's go ahead and pull that up. And what is your dex?
My dex is
Yeah.
11.
11. Okay. Wills, what is your dex?
14.
14. Okay. So and they're operating off of a dex of 12. So for the 2 fire ones, unfortunately the agent behind you is dead, but you do have the 2 others who are now screaming at you. So everybody else is going around 12 to go. Will,
Yeah,
what are you
because
doing?
technically I
Close
shot one
the
of their
doors.
dudes.
Closing those doors.
All right, you're just you're getting the doors closed, so you can hear the other 2 just hearing like drive, drive, drive. You do that. As you do that, go ahead and roll. So luck check. So
Oh. Oh no! The dreaded luck.
yep.
All right, here we go.
So you have to first. So are you going high or low?
Well, luck check is 50%, so it's always low, and it's a success.
So okay. Well, the new one it was going off of it's high. You have to choose high or low on this. On the
Really?
new version. Yeah, that
Oh,
was the new version of it.
I
So
always do against a target number of 50, so always low.
yeah, no, it's always high or low. So
All right, well, I said low.
okay. All
We're
right.
good.
All right. So, yeah, you actually, it's like, so once you do that, you've jerked the doors back as much as you can, and manage to fall off to the side just, and stabilize yourself, uh, before, it's on one of the sides of the wall and manage not to touch, the one side of the, what looks like now the ripped hazmat suit that is
Oh
exposing
shit!
that is exposing the shoulder and what looks to be a very large rock-like fungal growth that is pointing out of there. So good news, you didn't touch it. So
Yes. I look around for some kind of a respirator mask.
yeah, you find the back one in there, so we'll get back to you in a second. So
All right.
You already used it before.
all right then. So the gunman and the other 2 are going to go off. So at the same time, so they are pulling you back, but they're going to try to take a shot. Since unfortunately they're coming around the corner, so those 2 are going to try to take a shot at you first.
Okay.
From the end of that. So I'm gonna and basically again you. Let's see. Yep. All right. So this will be a dodge versus what they are rolling on their shoot.
Ooh.
And you only have, and I'm gonna say, yeah, just I'm just gonna do one for both of them, so you can make one roll shot, one dodge.
Okay. I didn't like that sound. Oh no. 83 out of 50. I'm
80,
taking something.
83 out of 50. So, yep, unfortunately, they are, yeah, they are not in a good way for this. So, and
I dodged into the bullet.
You're supposed to dodge away from the bullet.
yeah, yeah, that is a good one from it. So, all right, let's see. That's right. So you take 4 damage.
Oh, phew.
So that is hurting, though. Yeah, you are in a bad way.
Ow! Ow! Fucking get just shot.
But you can get around the corner. The other 2 are coming. It's like the other 2 are coming around and basically providing cover fire, screaming at you to go.
Jumping the damn car. I'm not getting shot again.
Yep. All right. So, but yeah, you are definitely going to have to get one there, and go ahead and make a drive check to see if you can scream on out of there.
Yeah, man. Up. Ah! I'm just as jittery as being shot.
Keep it on the table.
3. Son of a gun.
3. All right, excellent. So, yep, you managed to scream out of there. So, you're hearing the that's like the firefights that's going on to the back. You can hear Miles in the back, seeming like he's breathing really hard.
I'm just reaching over to the what's the thing that the passenger has in front of them that opens up and hopefully has a med kit so I can put some gauze on
Glove
myself.
compartment.
Glove compartment. That's the word.
Yep, you do see.
Is the back of the ambulance isolated from the front?
No, it has a doorway to go through. Basically, it's a small curtain that they have to kind of to get through, so that
I see if I can find a second respirator and I toss it up under the front seat.
Oh
yeah.
Put that on.
So overall, yeah, that's not it's a big of an issue too when you see that go forward, and
I just see a respirator that chucked at me. I'm like, okay, not going to question.
You're not going to question that, so
I'm not going to question that right now. I'm just like, okay, put that on, grab that, and let's get out of here.
No one cared who I was till I put on the mask.
God,
I just hope you don't. I just hope you don't get thrown around in the back there because this is combat driving, not.
I also hope
you've already made the roll.
Okay.
I actually should have had you make a violence check for a sanity check for the violence and getting shot at that moment.
I can do that.
No, well, I'm going to say that you don't. It's a little bit past, so I'm going to go ahead and let you do that since you do have one of the marks on violence. However, I'm going to go. Well, let me go ahead and just make an intelligence. Oh, you have perspective, don't you? Okay.
Yeah, I have
go
perspective.
Ahead and make an intelligence roll.
Okay. That is going to be a 19.
Oh, you absolutely do realize why if he's throwing you an oxygen mask up there too, and just because of that, you kind of look in your peripheral vision and see the nice tear in that. So both of you can go ahead and make your sand checks.
Oh yeah!
I'm good. It's fine. Everything's fine. I got the respirator.
41. I pass.
Breathe slowly.
Okay, and all right, Miles, what did you make?
Straps. 12. Pass.
12. All right. Yeah.
Breathe. I tried my best to breathe normally.
All right. You luckily
the gunshot wound.
Yeah, luckily you only managed to. That's like get down. You only managed to get one each. So out of that halved because you were taking that. So you were lucky. But yes, you were potentially in with a contaminant. It's like a contaminant at this point.
And I've been shot. How bad is it? Is it a gut wound? Is it a graze? Is it...
Let's see. What are your hit points? So yeah. I'm gonna say, yeah, you got shot in the shoulder essentially, so it's pretty. It is going through. It is bleeding, but it is not bad. So, but this is a problem.
Gauze and as much freaking alcohol as I can get while driving.
Okay. Yeah.
I would say get us to a safe spot and pull over. We'll there's got to be a first aid kit in here. We'll see what we can do with your shoulder.
Yeah, there is, but both of you are now under the assumption that there is a potential breach of protocol. You do see that there is a you as you're driving down, I will say, Miles, you start actually hearing a ringing in the car.
Okay.
And you look up and realize that you do have the that's like when you hear that, you look back to the pad that was controlling the anesthetic and the vitals, which you see that at least nothing has changed on there, but there seems to be a FaceTime app wanting to open up on the that's on the tablet.
Oh, good. I open it. I answer the call.
Okay. You see another gentleman whose face is obscured off of this. The voice is digitally altered, and it says status report.
First checkpoint is compromised. We had contact. There was gunfire, and the patient's hazmat suit is breached.
So, God damn it! So, show me.
I show him. I move the camera.
Okay. So, looking out there, have you touched it?
No.
Is the patient awake?
I double check. Does he seem awake?
No, actually, you're looking at the anesthetic. Amazingly, despite the rupture in the suit, everything that he has, essentially, he's been intubated in order, and also has other tubes basically continue the medically induced coma. So he is, completely, he's still out of it as far as you can tell.
Okay, so I'd say
No, he's still out.
All right. So this is it's like at the it's like you hold for a second. So stand by. And
God damn it.
you see the signal you see it basically standby go onto the FaceTime you're going through. I will say you Jensen, you don't have to worry about that since you're driving and you're taking this one, but Miles
I'm so happy I'm in the driver's seat.
yeah, I'm going to say actually yeah, what is your criminology?
60.
At 60.
I'm
Go
very
ahead and roll
happy.
that.
I'm very happy I'm not back there with that.
Criminology success.
With Delta Green and also realizing that when you have forgeries that are discovered, I'm going to say that this or in this situation, this is a burn everything to the ground. There is potential vectors here, and that might include you too. Go ahead and make a sand roll.
Choice day.
Critical fail.
You okay back there? It sounds like you're freaking out.
Oh my God! And that was a critical failure.
That was a critical failure.
Holy shit!
He touches it.
I'm gonna be projecting this, just FYI.
Oh, this is wonderful.
Okay, well, we'll see what he had here.
See
So
see
what we get.
Let's see the damage.
Well, that is still twice, so you're goddamn lucky. 4.
I thought a critical fail in a sand check was you take the maximum.
The maximum. Let me take a look and see. Since I believe if that's the critical failure, that's always the maximum. Let's see.
It ain't Sunday driving anymore, but
Okay, yeah, absolutely. I apologize. That is correct. So you do take the look at that, and unfortunately, that is an 8. So
okay, so let's see if
8.
I can project at least 4 of that.
All right.
I can.
woo!
All right. Well, all right. Describe. How are you projecting this? How are you? What are you doing to? Which bond are you projecting onto?
I'm projecting onto my bond with Eddie, my bartender, because I'm thinking I'm going to need a stiff drink when I get back home. And then I remember that I haven't paid my tab and he barred me.
Okay, so it's all right. So you're literally going off the alcoholism.
Three-card Monty on the barkeep, and he kicks you out. Come on.
Good. All right.
One time.
So you're projecting onto that 4. So all right.
Yeah.
So you only go down to 4 left. What is your breaking point? By
I
the
am
way,
at my breaking point exactly.
Okay.
Oh,
So you're not quite underneath
Knife's
there.
edge.
You're on the knife's edge there, but you basically do take that in consideration and control to realize that you can come back from this as well. But yeah, it is absolutely that's like heart stopping at this moment. The tablet comes back on and says, "Okay." It's like this currently right now. You've confirmed right now that the exposure that it's like occurring is only limited to you and the driver. Correct?
Oh, good.
That's correct.
So. All right. It seems that it's like from what the reports we're getting from the remains of the first check-in team that apparently the friends of this particular agent are still are still out there. We cannot confirm whether or not they are there. So all
So
other
blow it. That's what you're about to say, right? You're about to say blow it and abort because that's the sensible thing to do. The first fucking checkpoint was compromised. You're not seriously going to send us onward, are you?
What the fuck are you yelling about back there?
agent this the information this asset carries is too valuable to let go at this point. There is a kit inside that you can wrap in seclude yourself from the
That kid is
mycelial
not my
growth.
concern. My concern is the first checkpoint was compromised. We're not off to a good start here.
The other, as of right now, we understand that is the case. You are to. It's like you should have enough gas at this moment. You should be. That's like. Which I will say, it's. I'm backtracking on there, but they did basically fuel you back up
Yeah.
Oh, thank God.
at that checkpoint. So, you should have enough to at least get into. That's like the outskirts of Brooklyn. We will allow you to go ahead and take a. It's like see if we can take a rest there to do certain tests. But at this moment, you are to continue on without the other checkpoints. We can only consider them compromised until we have further notice. So we have, as of this right now, the information that is with the asset is too valuable. You are to continue forward. Do you understand?
Understood.
Good. Contact will be that's like resumed within the next that's like 3 hours. Please that's like stand by, and the play and the FaceTime image goes blank.
So what did Big Boss say?
Son of a bitch.
I'll take that as you don't like it.
They want us to keep going without the other checkpoints.
That's fucking wonderful.
Yeah, isn't that just great?
Yeah. But you do find the patch kit in there.
Thank God.
You can go ahead. Let's see. So yeah, it's pretty heavy at this point too. So you're just really concerned about that. But overall, yeah, this did not go down as it needed. You
not
really
go
wanted
well.
it to.
No, it
This did not go well.
I just hope that cop doesn't pull us over because he sees them bleeding.
Yep.
Paramedic.
Yep. It's always a worse. So yeah, you can pull over as needed. And that
I think we should, seeing as our driver is currently bleeding from the shoulder.
you do. So
Totally
I will
fine.
say that you can go ahead, make another. You don't have to make any checks right now. You can just pull over. You find a fairly disused rest area, and since and you do see that the that's like the that most of the part of excuse me the ambulance that you're in does have slightly tinted windows, and it's getting later on into evening, so you don't have to worry about
That's
Good.
wonderful. Don't have to
looking
worry
at.
about Officer Johnson pulling up and asking about what the hell is with the blood on my shoulder.
That is true. So let's see. Do you have first aid?
Yes, I do.
Okay. All right.
And
So
if we can find a first aid kit somewhere in this ambulance, that'll give you a plus 20.
that's standard on there. You're fine. So
Nice.
I will say that we'll go ahead and give you a plus 10 on what you need to do. So go ahead and make your rolls.
That would be a 49. Oh, just passing.
49. Okay. That is so you are so you managed to go ahead with what you have in there. You can go ahead and put 2 hit points back up on you.
Woo! I'm at 10.
Yep.
Hooray!
It's absolutely a patch. Thankfully, the round went cleanly through your shoulder, so it didn't hit anything vital. So you still have the ability to kind of go through it, and overall, you kept yourself pretty calm. So that's actually a good thing. But yeah,
he's definitely the calmer of the two of us.
Yeah. Now I have a matching bullet wound from my first deployment.
Yay!
But yeah, it is definitely off now that and you know what? Yeah, now that you're going through that, you both are seeing this. You don't have to make another checkpoint, but you're both looking basically at this growth, and essentially, yeah, what it does look like is a spongy, it's like very rock faced looking mycelial growth that is coming out of one of the. It seems to be just growing out of this person's back.
So we're driving the Subject Zero from The Last of Us.
So you kind of wish that might have been the case. But you do have the patch kit as you're going in. You can go ahead and wrap that up as needed to. Both of you are working for that. But it is, you are both ending up. That's like it is an exhausting work, basically going here and making sure that you're sealing this up in the best way that possible. Also, you have a heat gun in there that kind of just goes around the edges, and then you can continue on. I will say that given the nature of this and it's like you're both very exhausted, honestly, after this entire ordeal. So, both of you go ahead and make a Constitution check.
We need to find a gas station that's drive-through and buy a bunch of monsters.
Nope.
37 under 50. 50.
37 another 50. Okay, so
Or
in that
55,
case,
excuse me.
you don't have any ill effects. You're still, despite the fact that you were shot, you are still feeling pretty good for the most part. So, and unfortunately, let's see. I'm gonna say because of the exhaustion of what's going on, you can keep going
Mhm.
to keep yourself up because part of all of these stops were to basically give you chances to rest, go to the bathroom,
Stretch.
to basically have the time right now to be better to help yourself. But yeah, if Miles, if you want to go forward, you're going to have to sacrifice 2 of your will points.
All right.
Ooh.
I'll eat the two willpower.
Mhm.
Got to keep going.
So it's all right. Yep. So it's a hard drive, but you have that's like, but everything seems to be stable right now, but you have no idea who's handling you, what's happening, what's
Mhm.
going on. So
And
while we take
sadly, there's no orange juice in the first aid kit.
so I will actually say make a luck check. High or low.
Let's go with low. That is a 48.
All right.
Hooray!
Good. So
Dancing on a wire.
all right. Actually, it doesn't. You don't have orange juice, but you do have some insurers or different different electrolyte drinks that they keep on staff for the
Nice.
other ambulance drivers that are usually here.
They're not going to use this ambulance after we're done with it. Trust me.
Probably not. That was a special case. All right. But
Hey,
in this case,
I found a power bar here. Have it.
yep.
Oh,
So
good.
you think you're safe for the moment. So so you can continue on with that. I will leave you. I'm going to take one other bathroom break for a second. You can decide who's driving and who's watching the corpse. Possibly, we don't know. So I'll be right back.
I mean, you're on the edge, though. I love the front seat. The front seat's
I'm on the
wonderful.
I am on my breaking point, and I am 1 willpower away from an emotional breakdown. So I probably shouldn't drive.
Yeah. Just break down, crash
Yeah.
us into the divider. What are you fucking doing? I don't know.
I'm gonna get a snack. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Snack acquired.
Victory.
Yes.
I had a nice lunch before this. So I'm good. And if necessary, have one snack in the back. Yeah. Man, this is going great. Good catch on that first guy.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm glad that I made that because that could have gone.
Oh.
Actually, I don't know if that could have gone much worse. But
Actually, quick question: is there blood on the ambulance from where I got shot?
On the side of the ambulance,
Yes.
or
you got shot when you were outside of the ambulance.
you were on the
Yeah.
outside of it too. So I'm going to say
Yeah.
no. The spray was you were actually facing away from it.
Oh,
So.
thank God.
There are a couple dings from the other round, from the other high-powered rifle rounds that went into it, but as long
Those
as
will
you're not,
buff out.
They'll buff out. They'll buff out with the thermite. I mean, the Semtex. There's probably thermite in here for all honest sake.
yeah. So yeah, that was part of the whole this process. So yeah, this is you're not gonna. They're not screwing around. So, but yeah, you're ordered to continue on. Are you still? So Judson, are you still driving, or are you going to try to take a break to relax as much as you can?
I'll drive.
Okay. Because I will say, that you don't ever have to. Because remember, the drive checks are only if you're basically pulling tricks. If you're just doing normal driving, that's not needed. There's
Yeah.
no rolls required.
We figured he's probably better to drive because I'm on my breaking point and 1 willpower away from an emotional breakdown.
Okay.
So probably best not to have me in the driver's seat.
Oh darn! What we should should have asked for a couple of different license plates just in case this happened.
That's actually, yeah, that might have been an option too.
Curses.
All right, but it is also hard right now because you do basically have a generic hospital, or actually, it's not even a hospital; it's a random medical system like your pay per ambulances and for companies that exist. But yeah, you do get back on the road, so everything seems to be calm for the moment. You're probably a little bit more on edge. It's like going Judson. I'm going to say while you're doing that, go ahead and make an alertness check.
Oh, me? Sorry.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah.
Brian, it's like, wait, Judson? Who's Judson? Oh, wait, that's me. 8.
8. Okay. Excellent.
That gunshot put me on edge, so I'm prepared.
That'll wake you up.
It did put you on edge, and I'm gonna say it's about an hour or two afterwards, so everything seems pretty calm as you're going over another bay crossing. Seems to be fine. But as you're along the edge of Philadelphia and you're really kind of getting into the town, um, you notice another car that's behind you too that just seems a bit off.
Oh.
That it's That's like it doesn't really see it, you don't really notice it, but it's not putting you on immediate alert. Um, but when it seems to be getting into your about 2 lanes out from behind you, so into your rear view, you look at it further and you realize that that's a military Humvee. So,
Oh, joyous.
well, it's a
joy.
military Humvee, but it's one that looks really familiar. And and more surprising than not, you actually know the identification numbers on it too.
What?
So when you're looking at it and realizing that you've ridden in that one before, so something else that's just it's like one of those it's something that you don't remember in this. So and who was one of your military buddies on your bonds?
Yes, Sergeant Harris.
Sergeant Harris. So, let's see. And where did you serve with him at?
We served in Kandahar.
Kandahar? Okay. Well, as you're pulling up, because you can't believe that you're seeing this in the moment, um, you look back and you see him in there, and suddenly it all comes back to you in this because you remember something horrible happened in that day with the sergeant and you in that Humvee in Kandahar. What occurred there?
Uh, Practically just routine patrol route that we were doing. We were about to. Everything seemed to go well throughout most of the day. We were actually proceeding back to base when we got trapped in a alleyway. It was practically set up and car blocked front path, and another vehicle blocked our rear path, and we practically got stuck in an alleyway with a bunch of insurgents
Okay.
firing down on us.
All right, and that's something that you should have, and that felt you should have been able to see on a regular point. And your buddy wasn't killed, obviously, but you were almost done in by this. It was a stupid trap that you should have never fallen into, and it's something that you constantly blame yourself for every single day for almost killing one of your best friends. And as you look there, you can actually see that's like apropos of anything around you, bullets riddling the Humvee right now, and both of you crouching down. It's like a still image that's sitting next to you as you're reliving this.
Oh, that's
Make
not
a
good.
make a sand check.
That's not good.
Nothing about that.
Oh,
Oh no.
good.
Oh good.
98.
Not a critical.
Yeah.
Oh.
Close. All right.
We thought that the grifter would fly off the handlebars first.
So. All right. Take 4.
Ooh, ouch. Okay.
So it's not 5 and 1 shot or within the hour because that's
Woo!
been a couple hours, but it's like you managed to shake. You're off. It is something that it's the most guilty portion of that feeling, but almost immediately in a way that you can't really describe, it feels like that as you look at that and keep shaking, that something is touching you in a way. You can't really describe it, but you feel that touch, it almost feels like feels like the guilt of this, the weight of this is slipping away from you, and you don't even feel that. You feel so much better,
Oh,
and that you're going off from that. And really, everybody can make a mistake, even potentially fatal ones right now. But you didn't die. You didn't live. You didn't go on. You didn't make the mistake that would have taken you out, and it feels so much better. And in that case, once you do that, go ahead and remove 3 points from your bond with the Sarge.
oh, wow. Now he's at a lower point than my CEO.
So
Hey,
that's
he didn't die. It was okay. Yeah,
but you feel really good about it too. That's something that
Oh
just
no.
that's that's in the past. It absolutely is. So go in the back. So
Hey.
Miles, you were trying, even though you're supposed to be keeping an eye on this point, you're kind of keeping maybe the tablet next to you to hear if the alarm goes off to see if this guy's waking up or that. But it's hard to kind of stay awake.
Yeah. Yeah, it
So
is. It sure is.
and as you're doing that too, you kind of look up at the GoPro, which you realize also has a screen next to it to kind of show what it's recording. And and your vision blurs a little bit, but you look in and what's the last score that you worked on with I will say it's like Charles.
The last score we worked on. Charles had a crazy plan to to sell the Sydney Opera House
That's a crazy plan.
Okay.
because he's a crazy plan kind of guy,
Alrighty.
and
And what was your part in this particular plan?
well,
What was the grift that allowed that?
I'm the inside man, so let's see. It would have probably been a sealed bid grift. So the grift would be we find somebody we find somebody who wants to buy something big and impressive and has a lot of money, and we say, hey, did you know the Sydney Opera House is being they're auctioning it off to pay off debts or something? And he goes, oh, I hadn't heard about that. And, oh yeah, well, it's all very hush hush. They're sealed bids, but I'll tell you what, I know the guy who's who's collecting the bids, and he owes me a favor. So if you put a bid in with a blank check, and he'll open them up, and then he'll add $1 to whatever the highest bid is, and it's yours. And I'm that guy. I'm the inside man.
Okay. And what went wrong with this grift? What basically sent you and Charles along your way?
I didn't cover all the angles. I overlooked something.
Okay.
And the Mark realized he was being conned, but he didn't
Okay.
involve the police.
All right. So, and for saying right now that once he got in there, yeah, let's just say Charles wasn't walking straight after that day. So,
No,
that
he was
medical
not.
technology can do a lot to days, but that this is essentially a situation where he's walking with a cane with the rest of the life with an artificial hip and a lot more steel in his body than he would care to mention.
Yes.
You've just watched all of this play out in front of you on this little monitor like you were there all there again. You just sitting in his hospital bed, trying to apologize, giving some sort of cheap wine and cheese basket to, make up for the fact that that you robbed him of his ability to walk for something else that went for nothing. But and it's just going through, but you start to feel better about this. You realize that his plans were never going to work, and that some people are just kind of born losers with bad ideas, and you got to let them go. You got to make their own decisions. You can't save everybody from their bad ideas. It's something else here. It's off. So in the case of this,
Hey, I can think of a bad idea. This whole operation. Where's that key?
that,
Where are you going? Wait, one second.
What are you going on about a bit back here?
Well, go. Well,
Nothing.
let's go ahead and make your sand check then and see.
Oh,
Good
Well,
dear.
thing the key is with me in the front seat.
Nope. That's a fail.
That's a fail. How big of a fail?
A regular fail.
All right. So I'm actually going to say no. This is just one because the fact
One
of
is
the matter
enough.
is, yep, this is just one, and you start
Breaking
to feel
point.
yourself. Yeah, you are a break point too. So well, in this case, is this a fight, flight, or freeze?
Fight, flight, or freeze is temp, I think.
So it can be a temp, but I believe on the break point we can go there. So
Please
let's see.
don't flight
Breaking
out of
point
the
gives you a
back.
disorder.
It does give the disorder. So though we have usually done that in the past. So let's see. Oh yeah, that is that for the mental disorder too for this. So all right.
This could
So-
go so well.
Let's go ahead for that. So you know what? This is delusions of grandeur at this point. That
Megalomania, yes.
yeah. Honestly, the fact of the matter is that you should have been able to do what you wanted to, no matter what. And this is just. Nobody believes your ideas. Nobody listens to you. It is you are the one who should be in charge at this point.
Sounds
You
to
sh-
me like that's replacing the motivation and loyalty of the people I work with.
That is, yeah. So you should be idea. You should be the one that top it, Rich. So you're starting to feel really fucking resentful, which honestly feels good, and you can almost feel. It's like, well, I will say in this case, go ahead and take 4 points away from Charles.
Okay.
So he is yeah, he is off on there, but it's at the point though that you don't have to make a sand check for this, but you kind of shake your head for a second and you realize that guilt starts flooding back in just a little bit. And go ahead and make an alertness check at a +10.
Alertness at plus.
Oh shit, the thing's woken up. It's
Oh dear.
It feeds
off the
shit.
Success. All right, how minutes did you succeed by?
It's a 19 against target number 50.
All right. So yeah, you kind of bump because you're jostling around too, and you end up seeing two things. One, the seal that you made with the temporary seal that you made onto the hazmat suit seems to be pushing a little bit and pushing
Oh.
out like it's growing. And you notice that on the monitor, that it's showing some exponential growth, like it's pushing out. And on the opposite side, when you look back at the monitor, it's no longer showing the image of this. You're seeing what appears to be some woman in a very, very old, what looks like to be a maybe earthworks like hut sitting in the middle of the room. And she's not saying anything or looking, but she just kind of looks up and you see that there is tears of blood rolling down her face. And she's just shaking her head at what looks like directly at you.
Hit the button.
I didn't know this thing got HBO.
So you hit the button.
I'm hitting the anesthetic button.
So all right. You do. All right. It shows in there and the so yeah, it's like that starts going down further. He's still asleep. He's thankfully not going into cardiac arrest of this, but he's not going to cardiac arrest, but you look up and the woman's still there for a fraction of a second and she looks at you, Miles, and says, "You have to keep what hurts or it will awaken. You have to keep the memory of what hurts." And then you shake your head and it's back to the monitoring of the body in the back.
Okay.
So
Well, that was the thing.
that is a thing.
Was Miles freaking out in the back seat?
Yes.
You are able to hear that. So
Okay.
and
Bang on the divider. Wait.
You okay back there?
Just keep driving.
What the fuck was those noises?
Keep driving.
so yeah, he's not sounding quite himself at this moment. So and It's like it's just you're looking back into it, and as much as you were feeling good about that whole situation too, when you saw the Humvee has disappeared. By the way,
Oh, thank God.
it was never on the road too. But after you
Because
look
that would
back,
be weird. Because he's still here. Like not here, but not anywhere near this current location.
yep. So, but in that last moment though, too, you look back and lo and behold, you realize that it is you thought was off, but that you realize there's somebody in the seat next to you,
Ah!
and it's a woman who is crying tears of blood.
I didn't know that this was gonna teach me.
And she's looking at you and just calmly states, "You need to. Our faults make us. It's like we hold on to them to make us human. It takes them to become real." Sand check.
Oh, goody. $97, $97.
Okay.
Why are you guys rolling 90s now for my sand check?
You're fired. Yeah.
Oh my god.
How much?
6.
Oh,
So
I'm 2 away.
that is temporary though.
Oh,
So
good.
so fight, flight, or freeze.
If I go for flight, that means I'm jumping out of the vehicle, doesn't it?
It might mean that.
That's true, and I will allow you one check to see if you could stop the vehicle.
Go for fight because I wasn't expecting somebody there, so I try and punch. And I just get away.
Okay, so
I grab the gun and I sort of swat it, like trying to pistol whip the person sitting next to me.
all right, you do that. Because you're not paying attention right now, the ambulance swerves,
Oh, good.
so, taking back there. So I will allow you one drive check to see.
Oh, good. I pass with a 9.
All right, so you swerve off into the other lane. So, going around the corner back and barely missing a car that coming into your opposite direction, but you pull it right back in. Miles, you feel yourself hitting back on the outside. Luckily enough, nothing is jostled by that.
Doesn't
But
help with the megalomania, though.
probably not too. But yeah, how do you feel in that moment?
Oh, me?
Yes. Sorry. Yes, Miles.
Like I should be the one driving.
All right. So, are you asserting yourself on that, or?
Yeah, I'm gonna start yelling like, "What the hell are you doing?
There's somebody in the front seat.
Learn how to drive."
Tears of blood, man.
What?
Crazy woman sitting next to me that said to hold on to her faults.
She told me the same thing.
Oh, good. It's shredding.
Oh, airplane flying over.
So, all right. Have you stopped the vehicle, or are you still driving?
I'm sort of like readjusting. Like, okay, just focus on. We have to keep on going because clearly that thing's trying to assert whatever it is, and this needs to get out of our. We need to get done with this now.
Yeah, I'm on board with that plan.
Tablet starts beeping again.
Oh, goody.
Answer it. What?
Pull over immediately. Reestablish contact.
Oh. Okay.
That's all the text says.
I yell up to the front. Pull over.
I pull over gingerly.
So, all right, you do that. It's the next text asks for both you. It's like both you and Judson to be in the transmission.
Okay.
So, and instead you see again distorted faces, but it's not just one; it's several.
Uh-huh.
Uh-oh.
This time, you look around. Who saw? Who saw the woman?
Raise both of our hands. I'm guessing.
What woman?
I saw a woman, sir.
So, all right. Oh, so you're trying to lie to them?
I know. I'm just saying what woman. That's not a lie.
Okay.
Did you mean Clarice over in records? Because I saw her on the way out. No,
You need to repeat to us. Who did you see?
I saw a woman crying tears of blood sitting in the seat next to me, and then she vanished.
That's like a question. Did you see it too?
Did I see a woman in the seat in the seat next to him? No, I didn't.
Did you see the same woman that he described?
No.
Okay, so that is a lie because you
No, it's
technically
not,
did.
because I didn't see a woman in the front seat. I did not see the woman as he described.
That's still a lie. So,
Fair enough.
Uh,
It's a lie of omission.
It's a lie.
I have a mission, so I'm gonna have to get a persuade on that if you're wanting to keep that one.
Yeah, no.
No.
I should inform you, agents, that the reason why we have this communication right now is to ascertain this. We can go ahead and detonate the Semtax at any given moment.
Oh, good.
When I say I didn't see the woman he described, what I mean to say is I saw her on the monitor back here, not in the front seat. I'm sorry for the confusion.
I just look at it with this like
Misunderstood the question.
pissed off glare.
What is the current growth rate of the fungus? So you look back onto the screen and you state you see that it has
which number is it? The green number?
Yes, it is the
Every
green.
number.
Every number is green.
They can't
Not a
see it.
doctor, okay?
Yeah, they don't see that information, but you do see that it is increased probably by a factor of 2 since you last went, so about 2 inches.
Seems to be progressing. It's at 2 inches more growth than last checked in.
2 or 7? No, it's definitely a 2. It's definitely a 2.
What is wrong with you?
Look, I didn't design this fucking thing, okay? There's a smudge. That's why it looks like a 7. I wiped the smudge off.
There's a face palm from the soldier sitting next to the drifter.
Are you seeing? It's like, what are you current? It's like we're showing the GPS tracking location is currently outside. It's like 20 miles outside of Philadelphia. Have you been followed by any of the other operatives that you've seen before?
We have not seen any extra vehicles on that. Just, I guess, wisps of the past.
Okay.
What?
So that's like
Well, for me, at least.
You're being followed by a wisp of the past? I mean, I guess aren't we all technically being followed by our pasts?
Agent, please
Isn't that
explain.
how linear time works?
I saw a Humvee which I was in back in when I was deployed.
Okay, and what was this memory? Is this a? It's like was. Did it seem like it was actually there?
Yes, it was one of my toughest trials.
So more talking on there.
I'm gonna get us blown up faster than you'll get us blown up.
Agent
making eyes at the door.
Agent McConnell.
Yes.
What that's like? Have you seen similar things?
No.
Have you have you had any hallucinations that seem like a replay of an event from your life?
I wouldn't say hallucinations, but
television show.
I was thinking about a job I was on.
Okay, so it's like, and was this just a thought, or was this actually being projected in some way?
I don't know how I would answer that.
All right.
Jumping from the back of the car.
No, another persuade check.
No, that's a legit. Like I don't know how I would tell whether it's a thought from my own head or coming from outside.
Oh, so you're not certain because of that. All right.
Yeah.
Actually, I will actually allow you this. Go ahead and make a power check.
Oh boy, it's not a stat I have very much of.
Good day.
Good day. Real good day. Real good day. Nope.
Nope. Okay. You actually don't. That's like this. If you had succeeded, you would have been able to define it as a hallucination. At this point, you have no idea whether it is or not. So
yeah. So I just say I don't know how to tell.
Okay. Okay. We have a contaminated breach. It does not seem like it is going anywhere else at this moment. We That's well, currently right now, we are asking that you stay put. If you that's like if you start seeing the woman again, within that's like within the next hour or so, you are to detonate the that's like the syntax off of a location, and we will have a recovery key ready for you. So, if that's like you are, that's I apologize for this contamination. The operation obviously was not secured as we want it to be, but
You
this is the risk.
think?
This is the risk of the organization. So we should have, if you do not hear contacts within the hour, either outside with the appropriate that's like call signs, you are to detonate. Do you
1
understand?
hour. No less. No
So
more.
Now we're sitting on our asses. Wonderful.
So, you yes, that is that's like in turn again, you are to wait, and you see that they give you a location.
Oh, okay. We're supposed to
So,
go to a
We wanna
place,
stay right
then
there?
sit on our asses.
mhm.
Okay.
So,
Go.
and I actually will go ahead and say, this gets yeah, you're Miles, you're probably a little bit out of it too. More of this, so
Yes.
Judson, go ahead and make a military science roll.
I am so going to get shot in the back of the head and dumped in some field in Kansas. That would be a pass with a 12.
Yeah, you realizing from the tone of it's like of the operative that you're speaking to, that's like the tone of that is if we're not within the hour, you need to turn the key with yourselves in there as well.
Oh, good
Go ahead and
day.
make a sand check.
Oh, good day. Uh, I passed that one with a 10.
All right, so
I am completely okay with this. I'm not okay with this.
you're not okay with that. Take 3.
Oh, yay, breakpoint.
Yay.
Did you go past it, or are you right on it?
I will have been past it by 1. No!
Okay.
Oh, wonderful day.
So,
Going well.
so by the way, at this point, looking at that, I'm going to say that you are adapted to helplessness since we went. I should have given you a point for that a while back. My apologies.
Totally adapted to helplessness. Everything is out of my control.
Yep, and where is it? Sorry, getting back in the handler's guide. Where are our? Let's see. Actually, at this point, you realize that the things that you've seen, the life you've led so far, this is deep seated nihilism at
Yeah.
this point.
Nothing matters at this point.
So, so in that case, are you informing him?
Why does it matter? We're
Well,
all going to die eventually. He's to know if we're going to die in a few minutes or not.
all right. So they give you a location to go off onto. So, it seems to be some some disused ranch. Somebody else that seems to be at least 30 miles off of the beaten path. That you're there. It takes you through. So you're kind of just driving head straight, lie straight forward. Just got everything is going through here.
Everything makes sense now.
With that, and Miles, what are you doing during your drive?
Regretting the life decisions that have led me to this point. There
So-
there must have been a point somewhere along the way where I could have said no. And all of this could have been avoided.
So
I'm
you feel
trying to figure out where that point was.
so it's the bolt. Yeah, so I'll at least let you go there because Judson's a little bit preoccupied at the moment. But yeah, you're kind of still figuring that out too. You don't need to make an alertness roll on this because you're seeing, you see both the body and that. But as you're dwelling on this more, you end up thinking about. Excuse me. You end up thinking more about your failures, and you're noticing the measure of the mycelial growth, the fungal growth, is getting larger and larger. That just the more and you're focusing on this too, and at one point you kind of start feeling like again you're feeling something else. You're not really sure about it, but it's not your memories that you're really recalling back. You look back to the monitor again, and it seems like you're seeing something of Judson's of all things, of a Humvee that was out in the it's like out in the Middle East somewhere too, and a huge firefight. So,
Okay.
but you kind of shake your head again and look back and go like, the hell is that? It's like did somebody put on? It's like did somebody put on the 24-hour war network while we were out?
It's a History Channel special. It's a shootout. Yeah, that was
So,
TV show.
and as you look back, you do see you kind of you look back for a minute and feel somebody else's eyes upon you, and the woman that you saw on the television is actually sitting in one of the other paramedic seats in the back, just looking at you.
Okay.
So I'm not going to make right now. But you're. Oh well, I'm going to say no sand check right now. You've been through that, but you're
I'm going to
you're at a
pretend
moment.
she's not there.
Don't
You can't
recognize
ignore.
you.
You can't ignore this.
It's not ignoring you if you're not there.
The more you ignore it, the more you dwell on it, and the greater the gateway becomes. That's like I tried to ignore it, and it failed, and the only way I was able to stop it was just looks down. The guilt feeds it. That's like, and the more that you're willing to give to it, the more it will consume until it walks through.
Somebody should definitely get Judson away from this thing.
So, well, you're driving, so you don't hear her at this point.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm just saying. This is Joseph saying this. Somebody should get this guy away.
So she looks over at the body, and between you, the other agent. He thought he could control it, but he couldn't. So he went. That's like there are so many thought they can. That's like control that for their own ends. But they only end up repeating the same mistakes. So it's only connected you at this point.
Guilt feeds it.
So and she's just sitting there crying more blood.
Oh, how wonderful.
So and realizing what that's going through. So she's just kind of and you kind of shake your head again and she's out of your vision. But you do make a realization now that if that's like whatever this thing is, whatever it does or how it connects, it's feeding off of that guilt, and then somehow it's basically making you feel it and then taking it away. Which is why when you thought about Charles, when he went from oh he's okay to well screw him, he knew what he was getting himself into. That empathy went to total apathy.
Okay.
So he's there, and whatever is in this person, that it's obviously infectious. But it's odd that the program would go so far to save try to get what they can out of this person. That's like given the fact that this is so dangerous. So I'll leave you to think about that on a second. So, Judson.
Yes.
So driving into the night, your thoughts as black as the lack of
night
headlights around you.
sky.
You do find the place that you were. That's like that you were parking that he told you to be at. So there doesn't seem to be any cars around, but you're still probably about 30 minutes off from the time that they're there.
Mm-hmm.
So what? That's like, and in this case, what are you doing? So you can hear that Miles is talking to somebody in the back.
I pulled
Miles
back the
loudly
divider.
insisting that the person he's talking to isn't real.
The fuck are you going on about this time?
Nothing. There's no one back here.
I opened the divider.
Okay. And you do, as you do, you see he's arguing. It looks like it's somebody at the moment. You look back at him and you see that woman crying blood again.
It's you.
So she looks at you. There.
Oh, great.
you can't think that everything is it's like gone. There are things beyond this, horrible things, but if you can not allow it to take that it's like that emotion from you, it won't come. But it has to end here.
Oh, it is going to end here.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Let's not be hasty.
So they've looked. So, and
All
what,
right,
what
all
do you mean
right.
by haste?
All right. It feeds on guilt. What's the opposite of guilt?
Not guilt.
Not guilt. I'm used to that.
So, yeah, in this case, I will go ahead and when you're thinking about that too, you're kind of thinking about the opposite. But the fact is that the more that you think about it, when you remember you think about it, it seems to take it away. So,
How about we step out of the vehicle and think about it?
you can do that. So,
You could try.
are you getting out?
Might as well walk around before what happens.
All right. So, yeah, you do stop the vehicle. You do try to open the door, and it's not opening.
Oh, that's just wonderful.
So it is.
Hey, Miles,
Yeah.
you ever wonder what a tinderbox feels like?
How tough are those windows?
So, you're not really sure.
I could test.
You
Uh,
could.
all right. Are you testing? How are you testing it?
Let's first crack the pistol against it before shooting it.
All right. So, go ahead. I will say, yeah. Strength. Strength times 5 with a bone. I'll say this is with a 10% bonus. So, because
Okay.
you're using that.
That is an 18.
18. So, it actually is it is a shatter resistant glass. But that's usually for more just like it's meant to basically absorb 1 or 2 bullets before it just kind of goes away. So, so you're gonna be so you do kind of take a couple more cracks at it too, uh, while you're it's like while you're doing it, and it does get it open.
Ah,
But
open.
there is a lot of broken glass there too, and it's not opening from the outside.
Oh, wonderful.
All right. All right.
So you
Well-
definitely can get out, and as you're looking back and say, I guess you're letting
Hey,
him know this.
Good job, teammate. Nicely done. Should feel some pride in your accomplishments there.
Ah, fuck off.
You fuck off.
Is this what we're going to be screaming at each other until the end?
Well, this will be one more. This will be one particularly sanity check too. So, go ahead. When you keep saying that to each other, you realize that at a certain point, you're not saying it to each other. You're thinking it at each other.
What?
Go ahead, both of you make sand checks.
Heyo.
5.
All right.
10.
Why do I roll this now and not when we had the earlier issues?
All right.
Who
Will, what'd you
knows?
get?
10.
10. All right. You both make it. There. You've already seen enough weirdness. I'm gonna say no stand loss on this. Just, but you do. But it does allow you, since you made it, to notice that when that's going through, you could. It's somehow connecting you at this point,
No.
and you're feeling connected. And you're also getting empathetic flashes from it's like the figure in the figure in the that you've been carrying. More that just seems that Miles, you're really thinking all that it's like megamaniacal thoughts. Those might not have been yours because you're suddenly getting flashes of how you could use this to. Wow, that's kind of the ultimate grift, getting in somebody else's head, being
It is.
able to do this and to be able to use this kind of a mushroom to basically eat and then know what other people are thinking. Damn, that's not a bad deal.
That's a heck of a trick.
It is.
I could use this power and never be helpless again.
Hey.
So yeah, that is definitely a big consideration here of how they can do that.
Collective
I mean, seems like it might have some undesirable side effects.
if you keep that there. So,
Doesn't
but
seem entirely bad, but I mean, we're dead because of it.
so,
Yeah.
but
Still, I want to stretch my legs.
you are so, but it's realizing too, and you kind of think further back out of this that. Yeah, well, go ahead. Actually, I'll say that window is open. You're gonna have to make I would say it's a dex check to get out of there without cutting yourself.
Let's do it. I have full faith that this will not go horribly, and I cut my throat. going
Auto
out.
glass is designed to shatter so that's not like razor sharp because you're supposed to
Okay.
be able to climb out of it and crash. Source, I know because my car was broken into a couple months ago,
ooh.
Oh,
and I had to clean up the glass.
oh, I'm so sorry. So,
Yeah.
Would an 89 not kill me?
it's obviously not going to kill you, but you're going to take some. I will say you're going to take a little bit. So
Ow,
damage.
ow, ow,
Ow.
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 So go ahead and go down 2 hit points.
Oh, yeah, I'm back to where I was when I got shot.
Hooray.
Scraping by. Are you also going out?
I think he's still. Oh, yeah, so
Yeah,
he's
I'm
just
getting
climbing
out too.
through.
Here comes my roll. Nope.
All right. Go ahead and take
Ow.
just 2 hit points again.
Ow.
Ow,
Ow.
ow. They stuck collectively saying ow in my head.
So you're sitting out there too. It's absolutely cold. You're on it is a cold bay night too on the East Coast. You're just you're out of that the truck too and worrying about it. But
I know how
both
to make it hot.
that is true. But yeah, actually, I will say either of you. Let's see. Go ahead and make an intelligence check.
Okay. That is a 49.
Okay. So and Miles, what'd you get?
44. Critical success.
Or for critical success. Okay. Damn. All right. So a couple things there. So one, for Judson, you're thinking about this, and you actually do pull out the key from that,
Hmm.
and it's like as you saw that the remote detonator was basically set for that. It was you had one in the car, the ambulance itself, and the other one, but you didn't think about it at the moment when you did it because it's off. You put it forward, and you realize this key is too big for this detonator.
Wait, what?
And going back to Miles, out of any kind of con there too, the best thing is basically making sure that whoever's running it needs to know all the information and that everybody else who's doing it maybe only needs part of it. Something that's just, those bits to allow a plan to possibly work through fully in order to get yourself to a conclusion. Something that allows them to do this. And uh, the organization is contained, but whoever is behind this, they might be looking for something else, especially if you can hear thoughts.
The super weapon.
So, and now that when you think about that too, you are the one who gets this particular flash. As that connection, you start seeing images of some older gentleman, somebody you don't even recognize, but wandering around a what looks like a crypt somewhere,
Oh,
and
good.
looking at some weird skeleton who had this same growth that you're seeing on your patient, at the base of his neck, holding some weird sinewy sword, and that he's taking that and then having these flashes and feelings of being connected to other people. But more importantly, it starts bringing him back to all the other people that he killed, which you look back and it starts flashing towards different things, different monsters, different entities, different images that you can't even that's like comprehend.
Oh, wonderful.
So
All right.
go ahead. Since you're the one who saw that, go ahead and make a sand check.
All right. It's fine. Critical success.
Just the nick of time.
Oh wow.
Check
So
them.
So no, actually, all right. So I'm gonna say that no sand check is loss on there, but yeah, you've now inured to yourself. So because of that, actually, uh, adapted to a natural.
What?
Because of after the critical success, you just realize you have a sympathetic link. This guy is old Delta Green. And
All right.
more importantly, that would be the reason why you think they would go through. But you realizing something else, if they saw the potential of this, they might want to experiment to see how far they can spread, if they can keep this contained between a couple people, and how they could control that. Because why have they, if this got out as bad as they wanted to, why have they not blown this truck up yet?
Oh, great. We're the
Yeah, we're the experiment.
And that's about the time that you're seeing a group of headlights, about 3 or 4 cars heading your way.
Okay.
So, what are
Oh,
you going to do?
wonderful day.
I'm gonna wait.
Okay, so all right, so you're just gonna wait and see what it is.
Wait and see what happens.
All right,
I'll be cautious. I mean, it could just be the other group, so I'll have my hand sitting on my pistol.
okay, so you go ahead. You're waiting out in the front.
I still have that detonator. Like, if this is them, it's like, well, you gave us shit product because we can't freaking use it.
They lied to us.
They did.
How
They
so? Because I didn't have that flash. So how so? How did
He
it
doesn't,
well,
fit,
are
he
you
doesn't fit the remote detonator. We were never supposed to use the remote detonator.
Well, wasn't this supposed to be contained?
Yeah.
Oh.
They gave us the remote detonator, so we'd be like, oh, okay, we can just detonate it safely. But then,
Your mission was a lie, Judson. Take a sand check.
Wonderful day. Yeah. 68. I fail.
Okay, so for that, it's been a fun day.
it's
been a really fun day.
Take 4.
Yay! 47. Yeah.
All right. So they pull up, kind of in a half circle around you. It's all black SUVs. They pull up, and you do see that the doctor.
Oh, that jackass again?
Yep.
Which doctor?
It's the first doctor that you met with her, Fleming, I believe. So.
Okay.
Yeah,
Not the dead one.
Yes. No, not the dead one. So.
Good. Okay.
It pulls out. Gentlemen, I believe you were supposed to keep yourselves in the car at time until we got here.
Was that the instruction?
Car? We're still in the kill zone of it.
Who said anything about a kill zone?
I take the remote detonator and I throw it on the ground at her feet. I say, key doesn't fit. Nice.
So, it does. Well, it's like, well, there is a key that does fit that one, but picks it up. It's like gingerly and kind of pulls another key out on the necklace around his neck.
I fucking run. I run away from the van.
Run!
All right.
Away from the van.
All right. Oh, so you're trying to book it?
Away from the van.
Okay. So, all right. Yeah, Judson, you seeing him?
She takes out the key, and I look back at the van. And I go, "Oh shit!" And I just fucking.
Wait, actually, no. That's why I'd be scared of this. I can blow it up. Let's go.
All right.
So Miles just runs.
All right. Yeah. So yeah, just running out.
No, I'm not running out. I'm just running away from the van because I am assuming that the van is about to be detonated. I don't want to be near it.
So all right.
Casually walk away.
I have enough friends of mine not to try and run away from the kill team that I assume is heavily armed. Because I assume if I go outside, I'm just gonna get gunned down.
So, the thing is that when you look at that, that's like, yeah, they're not. They actually are standing there, just kind of looking at you curiously. So, and I will say, Judson, you're probably Will, you're panicking, unfortunately, so you're kind of running away from that. But so the other, it's like, but Judson, you look over and yeah, make an alertness check. And I might just right now go make sure. And also we need that you can put a +10 to it. Joseph, you still there?
Well, that was weird. Wait, where are the
Okay.
two?
Do you
Oh,
get disconnected?
Oh no.
All right.
Judson is multiplying.
Sorry about that connection issue there. So, Judson, if you didn't hear that, go ahead and make an awareness check at a +10.
Okay. And that is going to be a 34 out of, in this instance, out of 60.
So, all right. You do realize that you're just kind of thinking about what's the purpose of this? What's going on with this? And yeah, you made as you're starting to think, you're thinking between your thinking kind of goes to that connection where you're remembering your feelings, and then you remember that you heard the thoughts of Miles, and then you're hearing the thought of the doctor,
I'm hearing
who seems
thoughts of the doctor.
or just emotions at this point, really more empathic, but just amusement. And then you realize that kind of extends further into the group as you're feeling empathetically feeling 2, 4, 6 different people.
Mm-hmm.
Oh good.
And
Oh,
suddenly
we've
come
joined the collective.
Oh good.
that it's there, and that all of these feelings are, less amused, but they all seem to have a focal point, which is you feel like there's a mental arrow pointing right back to the van, right back to the ambulance.
Oh, great. He's the hub.
Eh.
So, and as you look behind there, you also end up seeing the crying woman who's just sitting there shaking her head and just mouthing "don't." And while she looks back towards the group, "Don't."
Don't join the group. Yeah. How am I going to blow up that truck? Because they're not going to want to blow up that truck.
So that's is a question there. You see other people getting out of the cars. So
Clearly, the infection has already spread, and it is too late for this.
yep.
We should blow it. Well, I do have my gun on. That'd be kind of a trick shot, but should I drop to the ground and try and shoot the tanks of napalm under it? Because that's going to set it off.
That is an option if you can. That's like get through if you can try that. So we'll let you consider that decision for a second. All right, Miles.
Miles running off into the cornfield.
You're panicking right now, so
Yeah.
but I'm gonna allow you to go ahead and make one awareness check at a +20.
Okay. Awareness at +20. And success.
All right. As you're panicking and running through and like, why can't I just, live my life as a grifter and being done with that too? You feel like kind of another calm thought that's not quite deadened, but coming through from Judson, and you realize that maybe unconsciously or unconsciously, you don't know, but that connection you have seems to be feeding back, and you start to see things that that's like that he's seen before. They realizing like, oh God, everybody is here is like this, or that's like this is what the plan was to maybe feed into whatever this thing is more. And you also see the woman crying blood again, mouthing "don't" at this. It's like around them. So you realize that whatever what the information you giving, whatever your connection or your link into this right now is feeding into what they're trying to do with with the comatose patient.
Okay.
Clearly, the comatose patient needs to die.
Seems like.
Do any of them have their guns drawn?
Not that you can see. So there doesn't seem to be any. It's like, yeah, the ones that are getting out of the car too. And again, it's only rounding about like 6 people that you can see.
And do they just look like the medical staff from there, or other
They
agents?
do. It looks like this is just all that same medical staff.
Oh,
The head doctor says, I do need to apologize. This again, it's a test. And ultimately, it seems that it might not have been much of a failure because we can kind of hear everybody else here, but you might be too early to
too
do this.
early?
Well, let us that or too early in development, let's say. Uh, because I'll give you at least the truth of this matter is that the person in there is absolutely of what we would call a vector, but we believe it's a vector for a reason. So something that we can actually utilize, not in the control that it was given, that took over him and made him into that thing, but more of a hub, if you will.
That's
Some
what I was thinking.
something that's connecting us all. And if you're willing, that's like to be able to make the decision here. We don't have to be rid of you, and we can as like make something in the organization much stronger, or let's just say a more efficient means of interrogation. And the nice thing about it is the nature of this is that it allows you to, well, let's say, forget your troubles,
That
which
is nice.
you do see that is another part of that with it. It seems to be stripping those guilt, that memory.
I like that guilt. I like that memory. I think to myself. Well, actually, no, nihilist. It's like, does guilt even matter?
All right, so
But this still doesn't. This still doesn't sound good. I am going to make it look like I'm like, yes, no, this is truly the righteous path, and sort of spin to the ground and try and shoot at one of the tanks of napalm.
okay, so yeah, that's going to be a reaction to the chest. So we'll say what that is. I'm going to say that because you're both connected to that, you're closer essentially than this. Miles, you actually will get the awareness check off of that automatically of what he's doing. Are
Okay.
you going to stop Judson, or are you going to do something to assist him?
This does sound like a pretty good deal, but, and here's the but.
This is.
Do you know what a grift is? A grift is when you offer somebody something for nothing. That's what this is. This is something for nothing. It's a con. So I'm on
Okay.
board. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, if we can all, so these, so we're sort of in each other's heads to an extent, right?
That is
Aaron?
correct. Yes.
What
So
about the other people there?
you are only getting empathetic connections, and it seems like it's only going one way.
Okay, so
Which
it's only going. They're not picking anything up from us.
Okay. Whoo!
they yeah, at the moment too, and you kind of get the impression that as you're looking at each other, because you realize you're seeing the woman who's crying blood. They don't seem to be picking her up.
Okay.
Okay, so we got the connect. Okay. Woo.
So what can I do to give you your opening?
Come on back over here and play your smiling face off to them.
To distract them?
Yeah, make them feel that we're at one with them, and we're just going to make sure that everything is set in order so everything can go off and we can use this better. This is truly the best thing that we can use for the organization. Wink, wink, nod, nod. Psychopathic link.
All right. Okay. So, I hope I didn't get too far away in my panic.
I'll say you didn't, so that's fine.
Okay. So I will collect myself and I will come back.
You ran to the minimum safe distance.
Yeah, minimum safe distance. And I go
5 miles away.
Organization, huh? Yeah, I could see how this would be helpful.
All
Tell
right.
me more.
Tell me more.
Tell me
right,
more.
What is this? This is an RPG scroll wheel for a dialogue selection?
All right, and I'm going to say that right now that you're attempting to kind of open up that empathetic connection to and use the griff. So this is absolutely persuade.
Yeah.
So I will say that you can go ahead and try to do that. If you want to utilize it, that will cost you a point of willpower because this is utilizing something that you're not familiar with, an ability through this
I
network. And
love
if you want a bonus to that, you can spend 1 willpower per 10%.
Oh,
I would
damn.
I would love to utilize this to give myself an edge, but if I spend any willpower, I'm going to send myself into emotional breakdown and get a minus 20 to all my rolls. So I'm just going to do this purely on myself.
Okay,
Your
well
charisma?
you have to spend 1 regardless. So
Okay. That's unfortunate, but
Use
we
it to
go.
your advantage.
here we go.
okay.
Nope.
No.
That's a fail, and that puts me at 2 willpower.
All right. So that in order to do that, so
Jesus.
it was too much, unfortunately. That it was a break, so that actually it does hurt a little bit. So go ahead. It's like it feels like it almost gives you a mild form of an aneurysm. So
Oh no.
Ow.
yeah, so go ahead and take 1 hit point.
Ow.
So at
Is
this
there
point,
anything I can do to help him? Because I have a heaping power of willpower.
you can't. So if you, well, unfortunately, you can't. Okay, I'll say this. Make a luck check.
That is a 78. That does not pass my luck. Curse.
Nope. Unfortunately, it's after the fact too. So part of this is that they kind of get they get a beat on you. So that what it would have happened essentially would have allowed them to. That's like to you to take the shot while getting into safe distance. This right now means that if you're going to take your shot, you're going to be within range of the blast, and it's probably going to hurt like hell.
It's fine, dude. Nihilism. It's fine.
It's fine. If I,
Okay.
if I live, oh well. If I die, oh well.
All right. Well, yep. You absolutely have that. The tank
This
is there.
needs to die. That's
Yeah,
all I know.
you're at point blank, so that's going to give you a believed plus 20. Let me check a look.
I'll just roll away when I see these sparks and explosion.
Well, I'm gonna say you would have gotten that chance had he made his grift to
Okay.
basically get away.
I
This
was
time,
just meaning like roll my back to it so it's not going to, hit my face.
all right. Well, like I said, yeah, this will be good. All right, but go ahead.
There might be fire.
There might be fire. Ha 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 ha. It passes.
All right. So what'd you pass with?
I passed with you said I get a plus 20 because of close range, correct?
A point blank, yes.
I got it on the money with an 80.
An 80
Oh.
up, excellent. So, yep, you spin right now. What are you using? Any cool phrasing, or are you just kind of dead-eyed and
Then I just let's draw Marson this.
firing into it? So, all right.
Yeah, they're like, wait, no.
Yeah,
Like,
they did not see that. So, yeah, that it does end up burning everything else up. With that, that's like, with that, you see them trying to stop you at the end, but it ignites it. You get blown back. Let's see. All right, and I'm actually going to have you make one more luck check. So high or low.
Fuck it, let's go with low. Ah,
Womp womp.
not low enough.
Not low enough. So all right. So, because unfortunately, yeah, this is napalm that's also activating, burning through, and will activate a secondary Simtax explosion.
Oh boy.
I'm just the Burning Man.
Yeah, that's 15.
Woohoo!
So, I'm assuming that you are super dead at this point. So
Oh, super! I only had 8 hit points left.
yeah, but as that goes off too, yeah, that's about the last thing you see as it shuts off. But you're remembering it. But you do in that last throw basically see the woman the woman crying blood smiling at you. So
My
and
one thought
nodding
is I could have
beforehand.
done that shot better.
So yeah, going back to Miles, yeah, you see the ambulance just go up immediately. You feel your connection shut down from Miles, which is a bit of a shock. So we'll have you do one more sand check from that.
Oh no.
Go ahead. Go ahead and make that.
Yes. I'm good. I'm fine. It's fine. It's fine.
27. That's a relative term.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
I'm fine.
It's a relative term.
Take 4 more.
Ow.
But as you do that, essentially you feel like the arms of the woman are over you for a second, and you just feel like, you're feeling horrible too at this point. It feels like somebody's stabbing you in your soul, but you still feel alive. And as you look up from the burning wreckage of the ambulance, you see that everybody else on the ground seems to have just gone out into shock. So that they are dead on the ground, bleeding from eyes, nose, ears, everywhere
Ooh. Oh boy.
as that's burning out. Um, and that you seem shut off from that absolutely completely.
Yay! I still have a higher kill count.
Yeah, you do see. Yeah, that. So you do see you see the burning corpse of what was Judson, but you seem to be okay with that. And there are vehicles there out for you, so you managed to get in and get back. It's like and drive yourself back to the hospital. To the more recent one. I will say that
Well, first
you.
things first.
Yep.
Change of clothes.
Yeah, it's you are doing that for consciousness. So, but it's hard to keep yourself to conscious because honestly, you've been near an explosion and you literally took a mental shock.
I've also been up for like 36 hours.
Yeah,
Somebody died in your head.
Yes.
which is about that time. But you get about 3 or 4 miles before you're confronted with another car, and you actually see 2 of the other agents that were at the first stop come out, grab you, and
Okay.
that's the last thing you end up remembering.
Okay.
So, after a while, you end up waking up in it's like a hospital bed. It is not. That's like it's luckily enough not it's not an isolation ward. You end up seeing there. It's like you're there with your handler. So from the it's like from the FBI.
Oh,
Looked up
good.
saying, "You know how goddamn lucky you are."
If I was lucky, I wouldn't be in this job.
That's a thing for that as well. So
How bad?
well, from what they tell me too, you that's like they had to put you on like the killer of all antibiotics, but basically get rid of whatever fungal infection you had.
That's gone.
They're not showing any signs of it. So from what they told me too, but but you've been in they basically kept you in a coma for the past 3 weeks.
Great.
So, but they are that's like they're gonna but yeah, you're gonna be retasked. So from what way I've understood.
Okay. Can you
'Cause
pass? It was a setup.
yeah, it was a setup, but that's like and they it's like and we're trying to figure out who basically went that's like decided to discuss who was in there and what was up with this because this is one connection that should never happen, especially the fact that
That was a
the
fucking travesty, is what that was.
you see him walk over to the window, kind of shut the blinds a bit. Look, Miles, I'm gonna have to be straight with you. There are
I glance
certain
over at the
aspects
door.
of the company. Oh, sorry.
I take a sidelong glance at the door, estimate how far away it is.
Oh, no, Miles, it's that ain't happening. Look, there are aspects of the company, especially since it was reestablished, that we have to keep certain control over or assets at this point. And technically, the one that you were chasing was an older one from the cowboy days, as we like to call it. But the the thing about it is that we don't know if what is in you is gone completely, or if it could be a threat, or it could grow into that thing like they did before. So you're going to be set on a special team in the future. So one that if your abilities end up coming back, they can actually be of use, and we can monitor you.
Of
So
use.
That's kind of the life that you signed up for in here. Abuse means that we can. It's like use you to stop bigger, badder things from coming through. So that's like so. What pretty much means is that you get a permanent. It's like you get a permanent home in Langley now.
Oh, good.
So sorry that we lost Judson. So, but it sounds like he ended up going out doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Victory.
So I'm gonna let you kind of sleep it off for as much as you can, and next week we're gonna get you set up in your new digs. Got it?
Fine.
All right. So pats you on the shoulder. Take care. So it's like opens above the blinds again and walks out the door. There's
And then
there's
the
a
kill
guard.
team comes in.
Yeah, there's a guard. Yeah, no kill team, but there is obviously a guard outside that is looking in on you. And as you close the door, you're kind of relaxing back in your bed, and you realize that you kind of get the feeling that you're not alone. And you look over, and there is that woman who is crying blood, but she seems to be smiling a little bit more.
Oh, good.
So,
Oh, great.
so that ends the scenario. So,
Brett, I
Well.
didn't become a force ghost.
or that so comments, questions, suggestions. So
That was fun.
Oof. That was entertaining.
so good. So yeah, to give you a basis, this is actually the sequel portion of the game I ran for the Patreon last month, and it's actually up on the main site now called All My Sins Be Remembered. And what it is kind of an entity. I had an idea for my own mythos entity where it was a fungus that ended up mentally connecting everybody. But the thing of it is that it instead of feeding off of anything more visceral, it literally fed off of the guilt of people, and it essentially like a general sin eater, which in the original scenario, it actually came. They found it on a fossilized skeleton that they ended up looking into it and saying like, oh well, this culture used it as a sin eater, essentially, that people could be absolved of their sins. But the last person that they did that to, they realized, or she came to the realization that it was literally creating a gateway for this entity that was feeding off of it. So, and she ended up killing herself in order to prevent this. But unfortunately, the means to go through with it, this fungus still existed. And originally, the corpse that, or I say the corpse, but the person in the hospital was the cowboy agent who found it, was accidentally infected and was trying to infect other people to basically get a hold of their secrets. So, and thought this would be a great idea. He got captured, and you had the organization inside basically decide that they were going to experiment and see how wide they could cast the net. So that's why everything in this, they chose smaller groups. They decided that they were going to figure out, actually make the threat real if they needed to burn anything down, or if the people who they inducted into this web decided they were not going to cooperate. So, but
God damn it, March.
so yeah, but
March Technologies, not even once.
yep,
March Technologies.
Not even once there. But yeah, so it is more intrigue right now, and because part of what I like to do, I really like the idea of the other units that are trying to use other things and supernatural elements to make hunting the other elements a bit more horrific. So, so if you decided to join them at any given point, yeah, you would have basically been a collective within it, akin to the Shawn in certain ways. But the problem is that they did not. They would actually kind of try to measure or monitor how happy you were getting before they essentially killed you off and took you out of the network
You're
to make
too
sure
happy,
that
you
this
must die.
yeah, and which is ultimately the thing that you have somebody else who can control it, and that's why the woman is there too, because she basically lives on as a phantom memory within the mycelial collective.
You're
So
not safe, is what he's saying.
probably so. So, but yeah, it's like
Yeah.
so it's kind of just a slight continuation on that too, because she keeps feeding off of that. And also the ultimate goal on that is that they could record anybody that they integrate in there. They could record their memories and basically just kill them. So they have all the information that they need from these people, but they don't have any. They try not to risk the entity coming out because they keep feeding and feeding on that guilt and that shame.
Now, did I have the right idea trying to focus on like pride and satisfaction to slow it down?
Yes, that actually was a good one
Yes.
too. Yeah, that was basically positive. You're wanting to go with positivity, but also accepting the memory too, and with that and using that as a constitution. We didn't get into it as much since since we usually, when I had more players, I kind of you would usually feed them off on interpersonal fights. So one of the reasons is that the reason is it was just the two of you in there. So
That's why we had the great FU session in
that is
the
true.
middle of the woods. Like,
That's
fuck
good right
you,
there.
fuck you, fuck you.
So, but yeah, I hope you enjoyed it on there. Is there any suggestions you would like to make, or?
No, that's awesome, but it definitely would be increased with more players, obviously.
Yeah.
So-
I can see inter-party conflict being helping fuel the tension in
Oh yeah,
scenario there.
Which is
There's
kind of
also-
the part of it, yeah.
Yeah. I enjoy scenarios like that do that.
Yeah, and I wanted to do it too much where you had it not so much where everybody's just infighting, but you at least get pieces of information and piecemeal. So and hopefully that, and I might end up bringing these two scenarios to Gen Con this year as after hour games and seeing how they play off each other.
Oh, definitely, dude. This would be perfect.
Yeah. Working out. It will be after hours stuff, so because I'm not running anything officially this year, or trying not to at least.
No, why not?
I'll talk about that once we're off broadcast. But working out from. But yeah, we'll go ahead and end that there. But everybody else, thank you again so much for listening into the Patreon games. If you like this, consider following us at our Patreon at not Railery. That's the other thing we're doing at Role Playing Public Radio's podcast, RPPR. Podcast. If you do that, you can get access to the Discord, and at the higher levels, you can also get access to these games as well, where we are happy to run those for you on a monthly basis. So, Will, Joseph, thank you so much for playing again, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you for having us.
Okay.